an Eridon. Uh, you guys arrived in the Feywild. You lost sight of the Quickling that kind of led you there, but were quickly able to kind of proceed forward into this strange and beautiful and dangerous place with some guidance and insight from Telperion. You proceeded forward into a group of very beautiful, almost writhing like blue fire leaves of these fir trees known as the Sapphire Wood. And as you proceeded through some dangers and some seemingly sentient to some degree trees, you eventually came upon an encampment that seemed to be of several Eladrin elves, beautiful in visage and kind of physical traits that were very reminiscent of seasonal changes. Although most of them were some sort of an autumn-based color palette, and Kinsalo, the person you were pursuing and trying to find and rescue. After some pleasantries were exchanged in that camp, eventually you guys saw through the illusion of what was going on with Kinsalo's help a bit. And it appears that these were not, in fact, Eladrin. They were Darklings, being commanded by a Darkling elder with a Yeth Hound posing as a blink dog. And it was a grisly sight that you were able to see when you broke the illusion of slaughtered Aarakocra and blood everywhere. You figured out you were drinking some abomination of blood wine, or not you were drinking, but that was what was being drunk in the festivities of the day. And Kinsalo was absolutely traumatized and horrified at what he saw, his comrades being slain. And you guys led an attack on the Darklings, successful, and slaughtered them as they burst into flashes of light when they were killed. Kinsalo was very profuse in his gratitude to you all, but otherwise was still a little shell-shocked and quiet and contemplative and eager to sleep off his wounds. But that is where we pick back up as you guys have finished a long rest in this kind of clearing, this encampment space, a little off the ways in the Sapphire Wood. But you
Good morning,
are
everyone.
able to wake up. Noticeably, Kinsalo does not appear to be on his mat, but you can hear the sound of commotion 20 feet to the left, kind of just out of view in the dense tree cover. But you hear the striking of metal to wood as if someone is training, and rather full of exertion, very aggressive training going on, as you can hear grunts and strikes of heavy impact on wood.
Gary, a little training time.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Let me get Elfie. He needs to train too. Roulette, can we borrow Elfie?
Of course, yeah. Take him. Get him his get him his steps in this morning.
Okay, come on, Elfie, let's go. You can
And
duel
then-
with Shadow Moby.
Perfect. And then 2 points of order before we continue. Could you guys remind me who had Roulette? Did you put the staff in the bag of holding that you had acquired, or do you just have that on you?
I probably had it out because I at some
Okay.
point before bed had identified it, or during
Got
my
it.
watch.
And that should successfully be added to your inventory at this point, as well as who took the Feywood ivy that had been wrapped around the bar of one of the cage
I was hanging on to that.
bars. Okay. As you kind of get up to join Jiri in his pursuit of some morning training, go ahead and make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh, my specialty. 19. 20.
Okay. As you get up, you kind of press yourself up, and you see that unknown to you during your trance overnight, there was some ivy had started to wrap around 2 of your fingers and start to climb up your hand, but you just shake it off. It didn't seem to do you any harm, but it had clearly, almost with a mind of its own, started reaching around what it was nearest to.
Right, could you identify this morning?
Yeah, sure.
don't.
Give this to either let Jiri and Toby know that this staff is in here, and I want one of them to, I guess, take a look at it or see if they can use it at some point. I'm gonna throw it in the bag for now.
Right. And when I hand over the ivy, what so just like a chunk of ivy?
What it kind of seems like is it does seem like kind of a loose chunk of ivy, but you do see dangling in kind of the center of it, the weightiest portion that almost acts like a small bob or pendulum, is a seed, like a dense brown green seed. And when it has sprout, and this ivy seems to kind of like writhe slowly and almost imperceptibly, and the vines coming from it are this beautiful green and purple coloration.
I hand it over to Roulette to identify.
Okay.
We're gonna go check on Consolo and maybe train a little if we just for like a half hour or so.
Perfect. I also have one other point of order. There is a point of inspiration up for grabs today to whoever at the end of the session we agree on that best commits to staying in character as you face unique circumstances. So just kind of diving into character, not letting player mindset dictate emotions too much. Keep in character if you can. And so we'll have a mini conversation at the end of that and figure that out.
I'll take not ominous things for $200.
Perfect. But otherwise, Jiri,
I'll take party wipe for 300.
Can get up and make their way over through the trees, and you do see the red-winged visage of Kinsalo as he is striking trees repeatedly, and he hears you all coming. Welcome, friends. Just trying to shake off the rust before finding the witch further into the forest. Certainly a fitting villain to have stolen the songs of this place, and rather enticing target to focus my anger toward. Please join me if you want.
Have the trees objected to the treatment?
It's a good question. I didn't really think about that. You good, trees? No perceptible movement.
Yeah, they are a little more sentient than those on the other side. But we'd like to train with you for a few minutes, if that's all right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I do feel like they were kind of moving when we were moving through the forest previously.
We want to apologize.
Sorry, trees. I'll keep it to the dirt, or my new friends. Yeah, Jiri, right?
Yeah, I would recommend giving them a hug. It seems to work.
I'll do that. Maybe when we head out.
Gotcha. Now, we don't train a lot with people with a spear, so you might be useful.
All right. Well, let's see what you guys have. And if you guys are interested, you could spar with him for a couple minutes. Do me a favor and just give me a basic attack roll to kind of represent the competency of your training with him. And I'll do the same for him.
17.
How about you, Jiri? Both of you seem to be very dexterous and competent comparatively to him. When he's trying to bring his spear up to parry stuff, you can see him wincing in pain, bruises from the previous day, and just the kind of challenges he underwent yesterday are still lingering with him. He is healed mechanically, but still suffering some of the lingering effects of difficulties yesterday. You guys are pretty good. I'm sure I could compete better when I'm at my prime, but this ain't it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you should spar with Elfie and Shadow Movie instead.
Yeah, maybe. What is that thing? Did your friend made that thing?
Oh, yeah. He's like a sphere, I guess. He's really cool. Or that's really
Pretty
smart
cool.
and made him.
All right.
At some point, Moby 3 will also like float out of the thing, and start
Nice.
like I don't know. In
Oh,
my mind,
shit.
I pictured
Whoa.
like episode 4 Star Wars, like Luke sparring with the little floating thing.
Yes. Love
She
it.
has quite the mechanical menagerie.
That is not how my brain works.
Oh, mine.
That's how my brain
works.
works as well. Me and Roulette are very similar.
Very well. Perhaps I can learn a thing or two from you guys.
Jerry,
All right. Well, yeah. What's up,
Jerry,
Toby?
Jerry, was there anything you wanted to practice before we wrap up? I could hop around and you could try to, I don't know, strike me.
Okay. Strike
How
you with
fast-
what?
I just wanted to remind you that I can jump really far. It's important. And I do a really, really long jump. I don't know.
Okay, I'll throw some stones at you.
Oh, I was thinking you could like try to run fast and chase me down, but if you'd rather throw rocks, you could.
Why don't I chase you and throw rocks at you? You run away, I'll chase after you, throwing rocks at you.
All right, this will be good for my evasion. I'm not very dexterous. So, yes, try to hit me, and I will try to evade.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Get set. And he like starts running at you before he says go.
I start doing
Amazing.
18-foot jumps. Oh, wait. And if I run, I can do like longer than that.
Yes.
Is it 10 more feet?
Yes. It's doubled, I believe.
Jeez.
Yes, I think we said we'll round the
It was like
18 up to
36
20,
feet, I
but the
think,
true
I think.
36 we're going to round down to 35. So you can jump 35 feet with a running start.
So I'm just like, and just jumping around real far.
Jerry's
Seeing what
just
Jerry
like
can do.
chasing around, dashing and throwing rocks at him.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do so. You're good at throwing rocks, but I don't know how successful you're being. Do you want to roll for it, or is this more
I
just
do.
sparring purposes?
Oh, we got to roll. Do I roll anything?
It's against your AC, really, unless you're
he's
taking
got
the
that.
dodge
He's got
action, in
his
which case he would have the
plus
he would have disadvantage if
If
you're purposely
Gotcha,
trying to
Telperion.
evade.
I think of like, I'm just curious. There's not really a mechanic for this, but like, I'm trying to jump around and be evasive and like throw them off by just like moving unpredictably.
I'm
So
going
I-
to say that's like considered the dodge action
Dodge.
for the purposes of this sparring. So go ahead and give me
Oh,
another roll because you've
disadvantage.
got
Yeah.
disadvantage for this.
There's the 20? No, not quite.
Well,
It's smoked with a couple pebbles, I suppose. How does it hit Jerry?
Gotcha. What'd you say?
How does it hit me? Where are you aiming?
Just like the back of your
Yeah.
head.
yeah, and you
Like,
can,
I'm aiming
you
for
can
your
choose to
ears.
do non-lethal, minimal damage
Yeah,
attacks. Yeah, yeah.
Just to like bounce off of you.
What happens if you run out of pebbles?
Yeah, then I gotta like stop and pick them up and like breathe wind back into them. It takes a long time.
All right. Anything else? Feel good? Want
I
to do
don't
one
know.
more round?
We should go. Sure, we can do it again, and we should go see how Alfie's doing with Shadow Moby. They might need some tips.
All right. And this time I'm just gonna like try to cut even harder in like more erratic jumping positions. And I'm not gonna do such long jumps. I'm gonna keep them shorter, but like keeping me cutting
Sure.
around more.
Cool. We'll keep that as the dodge action functionally for the purposes of this. Go ahead and give me another disadvantage roll, Cheery.
Trying to make tight turns in my meets it, beats it.
Dude.
Nice. So Telperion is getting more difficult to hit as Telperion's changing his behavior to adapt to your threat level. You are finding it's trickier to hit him, and just like the trajectory of your stones is less reliable as he's cutting back and forth. But you do glance him a couple times.
Ow, my arm's getting tired, Telperion.
All right. My head's getting tired because I keep hitting it. Nice though. Good practice. Was Kinsala watching or was he sparring with Alfie?
He's kind of off in the distance. He's near Alfie and Shadow Moby, but you still see him just like trying to work out some range of motion movements from his kind of spear fighting forms.
Got it. All right. Back to business.
All right. Yeah, you guys ready? Maybe we should get the others and get ready to head out. I want to talk to you guys first for a minute too.
Yeah.
How did
Yes.
how was Elfie and Shadow Moby? How was their little sparring session?
Great question. Roulette, go ahead and give me an attack roll for Alfie. And Jiri, what would Shadow Moby have been commanded to do?
Does
in
Alfie
that
have to
time?
make a perception check to see where Shadow Moby is?
Possibly. What was Jiri's intent with commanding Shadow Moby to train? Was he dodging? Was he trying to?
Spar with Elfie? So like pick up a stick
Okay.
and like defend yourself. So I'm imagining it's just like holding a stick.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I think with a 17, absolutely is gonna sever the stick, and over the course of when you guys get back to them, there's just like broken sticks everywhere as Alfie has just rended through directly through several sticks. But Shadow Moby certainly has been picking them up and using them as sparring weapons.
Wow, Elfie, you're getting really good at this.
Alfie is like super excited about it. He's just like bouncing up and down around this shadow.
Next, I'm gonna teach you how to throw rocks at Telperion. That way, we can hit him from 2 different directions at once.
Ranged flanking.
Perfect. Well, as you guys collect Shadow Moby and Alfie and kind of rejoin at the camp, is there anything Roulette and Toby Ram are doing? I know Roulette, you were identifying that Ivy, correct?
Yeah, I was taking some time to ID it.
You can go ahead and add Feywood Ivy to your inventory.
Is it F-E-Y or F-A-E?
F-E-Y.
What was the
That
name
is a
of the
good
other
question.
staff? Because it wasn't.
It is although it is mechanically similar, very similar to a Staff of Charming, it is functional, or is actually truly called Hedge Witch's Gardening Cane, which is stored in Roulette's inventory, but anyone can look that up now that Roulette has shared what that does. And now that I'm realizing it, did I add the picture to that successfully?
I think you did.
I literally don't
That's
remember if I
Ivy.
did. Hopefully I did.
Okay, that's frozen.
But as you guys, yeah, I know DMD Beyond's moving slowly right now. There's that details page.
Well,
Okay,
how was
yeah, I
the-
got that
what was the
picture
Ivy like?
updated.
I will tell you in a moment when I finish processing it in my brain.
All right.
I
Perfect.
will say,
Toby
and,
Rama. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
I was just saying, Toby, if you were in there or whenever you guys come back in, Toby or Jiri, if you guys have an extra mental hand, this cane that we found might be good for one of you. It's good for I don't know, any creature or thing we come across that does a bit of mental charming, like that guy back down in the cave. But let me know if you want to take a look at it.
Toby had been like kneeling in prayer, like as he does to kind of prepare his magics for the day, and we'll come over and ask about the staff. I'll look that up.
Yep. Go ahead. Hedge Witch's Gardening Cane.
Yeah, Roulette, ever since you gave me that magic ring, my like fist wraps, they don't work anymore. Every time I punch stuff on it with them, it like hurts my hands. I feel like I'm out of
Yeah, I
whatever
think
you called
that might be a it's not the ring itself, it's you got a bit too much to juggle in your brain, I think. And this is nothing to do with whatever other denizens might be inside that head of yours, but I think it's a fact of kind of, I don't know, magical encumbrance, I'd say. You got a lot of stuff on you that you're trying to focus on, right? You got your what do you have? Shit.
Oh, I've got my sword.
You got the sword, the ring, and you got
my
Wraps.
bracers and my wraps and the ring. Yeah, 4 things. Now, I can juggle. I'm really good at it. And I can juggle more than 3 things. and I had to practice a lot. Is there a way to like practice mental juggling, like you said?
My dad always said, the brain, just like anything else, it's a muscle. And the more you work on a muscle, the more you flex it, the more you strain it and care for it, the stronger it gets. So that's something I've always kind of focused on is, push the limits of that muscle and see if you can reinforce it, make it stronger, make it more pliable. So I do think it's possible.
Flex my brain muscle. Let me try. He just like scrunches his face up.
That's a good
I'll keep
step.
working on it.
Yeah, so Toby, Rama, feel free to take a look at that item, see if that's something you want to put to use. Roulette, you have the ability to describe Feywood Ivy if you wish. Toby, Rama has spell slots prepared, so otherwise you guys will be able to convene at your kind of camping ground.
Roulette, the ivy. You know what? Oh,
I haven't read it yet. Sorry.
I read it. I guess. Okay, never mind. I just want it back.
Yeah, in the future,
Reaching for it.
just wait till Roulette describes it in person to look it up, just for dramatic
For
reveals.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kinsala's here. You guys ready to talk?
Yeah. So I wanted to chat with you guys because I did learn information from those things yesterday, and they were implying that a witch lives nearby in the forest, who they warned you should never cross her and stuff like that. But and I'm certainly compelled to stay close to them to avoid her. They mentioned that her abode lays within a series of leafless trees out ahead in the Sapphire Wood in the heart of a place called the Gilded Glade, which in name sort of suggests more beauty than terror, but perhaps those are one and the same in this place. But I am confident, without a shadow of a doubt, that that is the evil being that has stolen the children of Remnus. And so we must away at once. As soon as you guys have your gear ready, let us begin our journey. I need to rescue the children of Remnus, avenge my comrades, complete my Etnamara, and succeed Captain Junequill of the Aquilo Scouts. And he just swings his spear in exaggeration and prowess. So, you guys ready to leave?
Is there anything we should prepare for?
Well, I don't really know anything about the witch, but I imagine she uses magic. So if you guys have magic, have it ready. I have some minor magics available, but very minor. And my capabilities are generally more of a martial sort. Although I have a trick up my sleeve or two.
So these docklings worked for her, which means that these items that Roulette's analyzing are from her. So depending on the nature of these items, we might learn a little bit about her and what her disposition is.
That's true. Well, what'd you find out about them?
Roulette.
About the vines?
We just said that.
Anything the witch was carrying, in case it could give insight into like what her shtick is,
I mean, between the cane and the this viney thing here, something to do with control over plants. I'd say she seems to be, if both of these things belong to that witch, she seems to be kind of one with this fey nature. Control over plants, control over vines. So if we find ourselves in a narrow, hedgy hallway coming up, I'd say be on your guard. Even if we find ourselves in the middle of an open field, maybe a gilded glade, I'd say be careful where you step. It's probably going to be something trying to trip us up.
Hmm.
And likely, if she's Fey, does that impact anyone's magic?
If she's what?
Fey.
Not mine.
Not that I'd assume.
Shouldn't affect
I
my
don't
spear, I
know.
don't think.
And then if she's using plants, maybe 5? We can say that.
Perhaps.
You think it's gonna be like illusions, like that, like we got tricked with before?
Well, that's true.
It's a good
illusion.
question. I wonder if that was something that those creatures did, or if her magic was here as well.
I suppose just general Fey warnings still stand. Don't trust what you see. And if she's as evil and vile as these were, she probably will use maybe some form of coercion. So if any of us start acting out of character, she may have tried to dominate their mind or something.
Oh yeah, last time that happened, Roulette started attacking us. Maybe there's a good way for us to remember who not to fight.
That's interesting.
Well, drawing my
because
blood certainly worked the other night,
I also
or shaking,
think I have-
drawing your bloods rather.
I also think I have some new magics to work with. And I think there's one that will specifically help us against those sort of conditions and shielding us from them.
Whoa, Toby, where'd you find this new magic?
Wish I could tell you. It comes from Kalimvor. I woke up this morning and I felt bolstered with new capabilities that I don't believe I had yesterday.
Funny how that keeps happening.
How about something
Handy
a bit
trick
more?
you got there.
I mean, Toby, I think that's wonderful. However, you're getting kind of bolstered in your sleep. We got to try and match your sleep patterns. But I think worst case scenario, Toby, if you're the one to get charmed, I think we should maybe have something a bit more practical or applicable to the rest of the group. A call and response kind of thing. Like if you're charmed, you're not gonna. I don't really know how it functions, but if I say, Toby, what's my name, and you purposely say the wrong name or something like that, we know it's really you. Or so I don't even know. Or if we have
like
kind
a
of
secret password.
What if we held up a circuit?
It should be flash and lightning. I say flash, you have to say lightning.
I was just gonna
Or
say we
just
could hold
put
up our ring
a-
and say 4 winds.
I think I can give us advantage against being blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, and stunned.
How about this? We do easier than that. Jiri, you gave me a good idea. What was it? Remember, Jiri, when you first started saying your phrase? If I say thunder, you say flash.
Lightning. Flash. Oh yeah. No. Flash comes first, then lightning.
Right. Thunder, flash.
Thunder flash. Okay, let's
Because
go
it's
with
the
that.
wrong thing. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, I'm just gonna smack whoever can't say it right.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Short version, I'd say, Toby, you keep that magic stock ready to go in case we do get charmed. But if any one of us gets a hint that something is off with one of us, try and get them to stumble upon their words.
I have another. Each of our rings is a different direction, right?
Yes.
So what if I ask Jiri, which way blows the wind? And Jiri has to say the way his ring is
Ooh.
blowing.
Ooh.
What's your direction, Jiri?
Power of water.
Yeah,
I think it goes west.
west.
Or like
I'm
left.
east.
I was south.
There we go.
North.
Then we unite them. All right, shall we be off? I think we've
Jiri,
Wait, what about
unless-
Kinsalo? Kinsalo doesn't have a ring.
well, we know what Kinsalo's like when he's charmed.
Yeah, you
let's
guys
cut him again.
definitely have. You definitely have my permission to give me a slice on the wrist or something to shake anything like that if that's the same rules that apply.
But Jiri, unless you were interested, I think I might specifically for this, foray further into the Fae, might want to hang on to that staff unless you're interested in it.
All you man, sticks aren't my thing. I like swords.
Aren't swords just pointy sticks?
In a way, yes.
All right, well, you guys gather your things. I'm ready to get out.
We'll break down camp.
Okay,
All right.
what do
You guys pack up camp, gather your belongings, and head out kind of in Kinsalo's guiding direction. Yeah, when they were all lying to me, they were suggesting we were going to follow this path and avoid the witch's territory, but now I'm understanding it's probably just leading directly into it. So I'm pretty sure if we just keep going this way, we'll run into her, or maybe we'll hear. That's something you guys can do. Maybe you can listen for the most beautiful melodies you've ever heard that are just permeating the vicinity. They're usually audible from a while away. They can even leak into our own world. The children of Remnus are always singing. So you could keep an eye out ear out for that.
Do you think this witch would use songs to confuse us? Maybe we should have like earmuffs or earplugs.
I don't know anything about the witch's capabilities, but the children of Remnus usually fill those around them with inspiring thoughts. They embolden those they are around. So I would actually, my guess would be the opposite. But if there's sound magic involved, certainly covering your ears isn't a bad idea.
Sure, let's get walking.
All right. And you guys begin to proceed.
As we walk, I'm gonna ask Kinsalo, would you rather be flying? Is it arduous to walk at this pace? And I say arduous in Elvish because I don't really know the common word for it.
He doesn't miss a beat. He seems to understand your Elvish term and acknowledge in kind. I don't remember my birth, obviously, but I think from childhood on, I was always walking until I learned how to use my wings. I was rescued by Altari, and when she was just a young in training member of her scouting corps, they found me on an island off the coast of the Jalen Ocean. And I don't think I even knew how to use my wings at that time. They taught me. So I think both are pretty natural to me. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to see some of my other capabilities and you'll see what my now preferred method of getting around is. But in this state, walking and flying doesn't matter to me. They're both pretty natural. I will say the wings help me accomplish some rather unique fighting maneuvers and movements in my training that kind of throw off my foes sometimes. So that can be helpful. Definitely a different fighting style than that I saw you and Jiri utilizing.
Yeah, no wings here, except for him sometimes.
Wait, what do you mean? Can you sprout them with your divine stuff?
Yes, kinda. I can. Once a day for a little bit.
Your god must like you a lot.
Guess so.
All right.
Alfie comes trotting up, flapping his metal wings.
They say what we've learned of. I'm like an Avariel, I think is the term, and they say in our culture, in the bird folk that raised me, that we used to be blessed by the gods, and someday it became permanent and infused our race with these physical characteristics. I wonder if one day they're kind of like you, able to use them, but it wasn't permanent. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask about it when we're home.
So you were found on an island there?
Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I was a young little kid, maybe 5 years old or so. But Altari was already a member of the Oster Corps, and was actually, I think I may have gotten that corps wrong. She was the Occident Corps, but they found me, and I was alone and stranded, and I don't have many memories from back then, but they rescued me and brought me up in Kilodine, and I have no complaints. They've been great to me. And they seem to be entrusting me with taking over the Aquilo Scouts. I don't know if I'm ready for that. The previous captain's she's getting up there. She's probably got a year left, if that. I've got a lot to learn in a year, but I'm pretty good at what I do. But she's something else. A lot of work to be done.
Has she taught you much?
I've interacted with her quite a bit, but she's got so many responsibilities that I don't like train under her constantly. Sometimes I hold meetings with her. The Wrath Strike has got to be one of the most famous generals we've ever had. She's incredible. I hope to be half the warrior she is. Luckily, I'm blessed with, I guess, a longer lifespan than most bird folk, so maybe I can grow into the role.
Ooh, how old are you right now?
And Telperion, you would immediately recognize that term. The Wrath Strike. The Wrath Strike is a common nickname that had been given to Captain Oro June Quill. But what'd you say, Jerry?
How old are you?
I'm like in my 28th year. That's not right. I need to make sure I get that right. I have their ages down here. That was his initial age before I tweaked the logic.
I feel like Kinsella starts saying
world.
this out loud. That's not right.
Cut that.
Man,
cut that.
sometimes I forget how old I am.
I'm in my 21st year right now. Yeah, just a year younger than Altari. But when she met me, I was just a sniveling wimp of a kid, and she was already a fully mature and competent warrior. It's kind of weird how their maturing process works. But anyway.
You are part elf then?
That's what they say. They say I have I come from Fey ancestry, and that I'm somehow part elf and part bird folk.
Wonder what that equals out to in terms of years.
Yeah, I don't know. They've never interacted with one. I don't think. I'm the only one they know of, so we don't exactly have a precedent set for understanding my future. But
Toby's kind of like to the side of the marching order, just like here and there trying to tap the ground with the cane, and it like starts transforming into a broom, but then it like fails because I'm not fully attuned yet. I'm just trying to like establish that connection.
Yeah, perfect. As you see Toby gesturing with it, the cane is the end of it, not the rose petaled gilded top of it, but the other end is warping and stretching into a rake and a broom and just awkward shapes. So, but you guys are all able to continue in conversation. Unless there's any other conversational bits, you definitely start to proceed into an eerier portion of the forest.
I do have one more question.
Sure.
I just want to ask, the Wrath Strike must have quite the reputation among your people then.
Oh, she's the best. She is possibly the single best defender of our culture and way of life. She does not take well to bandits in our forest or or jackal wares that come in from various dens of the Shars. Those are some seedy areas in the Shars, and that's where the Ostercore portion in the eastern portion of the woods. I haven't interacted with those people much, but she has the respect of all of the cores, not just the Aquilo in the north.
The Shahs?
Yeah, the Shars are a series of like kind of crag-like stone mountainous towers that kind of reach into the air out of the wastes of Western Chimeras, east of where we are, or where we were. It's east of the Caneloth jungle, but it's in the western portion of the Chimeran desert. Shar means claw in Primordial, and you guys that know Primordial were able to put that together as he was saying that. But they're named that because they almost seem like 3 stone claws that reach into the air. There's Sharsan, Sharmoa, and Sharborea are the 3 locations there in the western Chimeran desert. But
She must be slowing down though if she's only got a year left.
yeah, I think she has slowed in her military prowess. She's more of the wisdom giving sort now. She holds a lot of audience with Master Korik, actually. They interact quite frequently. But yeah, someday I hope to do for our people what she has done.
No, I'll stop there.
And you guys continue to proceed, pushing an hour, 2 hours before the mists that have been amethyst and beautiful, if eerie, in the sapphire wood kind of fade and pull back. The violet and blue hued foliage that you guys been wandering through is transitioning to a more typical green. And you're entering a portion of the forest where it looks more standard fare for what you expect a forest to look like. And yet something about this place is deeply wrong. The air smells like acrid and metallic, and it's suddenly silent, vibrant in color, but void of any clattering of insects or bobs of glowing spirit light that you guys have been wandering through. It's almost like art has been frozen in time. It's too perfect. And suddenly you start to wonder if this is more Fey illusion at work, or if everything is what it seems. But the beauty and deadliness have always existed in harmony here. And at the center of this off-putting stillness, you continue to push on further. And then, yeah, Roulette, did you have something?
As we progress forward, I don't know at what point I'd start it, but at some point I would start ritual casting detect magic, taking out my tools to just like start getting a feel. Probably not as soon as I notice it, but as soon as I feel myself, if I notice a center of like this area.
Got it. So you are intending to ritualistically pull up detect magic at least. Okay.
Yes.
You are able to, over the course of 10 minutes, kind of as soon as you change environments, almost, you start that process. And by the time you're 10 minutes into it, it does trigger. And just in time for you to see off in the distance, kind of a dull, faded color where you can tell as your detect magic activates, everything around you is like just anything you're looking at is bright magical illusion. You can see that the area is steeped in it. But the illusion strangely seems to fall away as you look ahead to a series of bare trees that seem leafless, just like pine firs that are standing up. I didn't put that one on loop. Like pine trees that are tall and dense but leafless, and somehow they still occlude sunlight from the Feywild sky from getting into this place. It is still dark, but it is starting to become more barren. And as you proceed past that strange aura of illusion magic, almost enticing in nature, possibly intended to lure people into the center, that sensation leaves as this barren portion of the forest does not feel draped in illusion magic, but is simply simple. And I would like everyone to give me a perception check. And I'll actually say, Roulette, you get advantage on this.
Oh.
Ha! Nat 1.
3 nat 1s. Love that for us.
Holy shit. None of you guys hear it, but Roulette, you see Kinsalo tilt his head, and as at that indication, you kind of peer past the detect magic visual and try and focus on if you can allow any magical sensation to get to your ear. And you do hear something. You hear a beautiful, far off, but a beautiful melodic singing. Although after just a moment, the beauty gives way to mourning and sorrow and sensations of deeply sad emotion. And it almost off-puts you for a moment, like it makes you uneasy physically and mentally. Do you hear that?
No.
That.
Are those the
I
children?
think that's. You can hear too?
I thought you said
I
it was
think
supposed
so.
to be happy.
It is. We're going in the right way. Come on, onward. And Kinsale starts to take off running in the direction of the noise you heard.
Fuck. Let's go.
I'm getting.
Yeah, Telpiran, should we get ready? Are we about to fight this witch, or?
I don't know. I'm just getting a sliver out in the meantime because who knows when something's going to startle us.
Okay. So taking just
Should I be Buffy
a
then?
very brief moment to analyze if you're just going to chase after him or if you need to gear up in some way. Kinsale seems to have rushed off. He's maybe 30, 40 feet ahead running at this point, with his wings almost flapping behind him, propelling his run, but not truly taking off into flight. But are you guys proceeding?
Yeah.
Dropping detect magic, of anything that I had, and I'm just I'm shields out. I'm one hand is like on my headphones that I use for Moby 3, and I'm like ready to cover my ears at a moment's notice.
Okay. Well, you guys do proceed, and you see a location where Kinsale has slowed his gait as you come upon a rather sizable series of interconnected wooden cottages, seemingly carved from the shells of old deadened trees, with thick gnarled roots anchoring them in place. And now, upon your closer approach, you can hear this melodic singing. Just it's hauntingly beautiful but terrifying, and it is pulling you forward. Again, mournful in its sorrow sound. Kinsale has a spear ready at his side, and there do seem to be a series of like kind of wooden shambled kind of shackled steps that kind of approach various portions of this space.
I'm going to cast 3 spells. I'm going to cast Aid on Kinsale, Telperion, and myself. I'm going to cast Warding Bond on Jiri, and then I'm going to spend a charge to cast Comprehend Languages on myself.
Okay. So you have successfully attuned to the staff, breaking attunement with whatever else you chose, but you are able to cast comprehend languages through the staff. You kind of trigger its magic, and you do sense like a heightened level of understanding. Everyone's words that they've been saying have sounded crisper almost. And even when Kinsala was mentioning the language of the Shars, you somehow instinctively knew that was primordial for Claw. But you guys
that 5
were able
HP?
to trigger those. Yeah,
Yes.
is that 5? Is it
5
okay.
max to Kinsalo, Telperion, and myself.
Got it. And Jiri has warding bonds. Is warding bond concentration or no?
No.
Got it. Okay. You guys
65
are buffed
HP.
in those ways. Damn.
For reference, now that we're
Jiri-
at this level.
Seeing Toby start casting spells, Jiri will pull on his ripcord just to be prepared. And cinches up, he puffs up, and his hair flops down. I always forget to describe that, but his hair doesn't stick up when he like pulls.
Oh, because it tightens around. the neck.
It's not
Yeah.
blowing up his hair anymore.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's got like shaggy hair, and yeah, he's all puffed up now. And since it's level 4 now, it is 20 and 20. And I'm imagining that like periodically like Roulette has like sewed more pockets into it to like make it like different.
Sure. Yeah.
To increase the temp HP.
Love it.
So we're just gonna walk into that
Alright.
cottage. Do you think there's a back entryway?
DM, quick
There
question.
do seem to be more than one kind of staircases leading up to various portions of the series of interconnected cottages. So you guys can absolutely choose kind of a direction you want to approach it from.
Can we all hear the singing now?
Yes, it's absolutely audible. Your enhanced your enhanced magic detection was allowing you to kind of get an additional sense of honing in on its sound earlier than the rest. But yes, it's fully audible now. I'm
certain the answer to this question is no, but do I understand any of the words that are being sung, or is it just melodic, like
You do. It
Hymn.
does. It's a strange sensation because, and that's a very fair question, because it almost sounds language adjacent, but you don't think those are real words. And Tobirama, even with your comprehend languages, it does feel like just melody, beautiful melody coming from the voice of some creatures, and you can pinpoint multiple creatures. But it doesn't contain like the structure of language, but you do get an odd sensation of celestial, primordial, and sylvan energy in that language. Roulette, you do not get all that. Tobirama specifically gets all that from the comprehend language.
it sounds like the Halo
enhancing
theme
his-
to me.
Yes, but it's a little bit more higher pitched and meandering in its melody. It's it's like you can tell there's beauty
Luigi's
to it,
Mansion.
but it's horrifying too. Like it's very off-putting, the tonation, the kind of the minor keys of it all. It's very uncomfortable, but you can undescribably attribute beauty to it, but it doesn't feel right. You guys are welcome to proceed.
I'm gonna get coffee before
Alright.
we go in. It'll take 1 second.
Yeah. Let's do a quick bio break, and I'll do some coffee as well.
No one's back yet. You're not muted, by the way.
Hey, MK, what is Toby Rama's normal max HP?
52.
Thank you.
52. If you were to check my character sheet, you would see that I have unequipped my shield. As I know,
okay.
I will need to have a hand free if I intend to also be using the cane.
Yes. So that is so. This is a bit of. I'm glad we can clarify this now before we dive back into session. Although material and somatic components, you do need a free hand for somatic. But when you're holding a material component, you can use that same hand for the gestures for somatic components. There's language in the player's handbook that says when you're using a material, you can use that same hand for somatics. So whether you have somatics or somatics and material, you need at least a free hand to do that stuff. So a free hand is kind of misleading because it means you have to have a hand dedicated to doing that stuff. So you can functionally wave, you could have shield and staff and wave your staff around as both the material focus and the somatic components.
But that currently wouldn't work for me because my focus is the medallion, though, right?
Oh, in that case, then you're absolutely right.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
In that case, you're exactly right. You're using the staff, focus is here, and somatic. Yes, that's correct.
I don't get the point of this. Always confuses me. Warcaster says you don't have to do the somatic with the hand, so why would you, without Warcaster, be able to use this your material hand
because
and your somatic hand for the same thing?
It's the language. It's a semantics battle. The feat of Warcaster is intending to pull something, accomplish something else. Even when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands. So it has nothing to do with material components. It's like, hey, even if you're dual wielding, you can still cast verbal somatic spells. Warcaster is built for people using weapons still pulling off somatic components. That's the intent of the feat. The semantics can get probably hairy, but that's the intent. So, and a weapon could be a quarterstaff, like the Toby Rama's Staff of Charming can be used as a magical quarterstaff or whatever it says. So that is still the case. So that counts as a weapon, but that's meant for, hey, if you've got two stuff in your hands and neither of them are the materials you're using for a focus, you can still pull off the somatics. It's completely separate from material component conversation.
What page is feats on? I can never remember.
166-ish.
60. So yeah, sure enough.
Telperion, what is Telperion's normal max HP, not including the aid buff?
Now it's 60.
60? 60? Okay. Okay, I should just pull up everyone's sheet so I can figure that out without grilling everyone. Jeer's got 20 temps and warding bond. Damn. Stacked. We've got that. We've got that. We've got roulette. Including the temps is Oh no, that's without the temps. So perfect. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Alrighty. As we get back into things here.
Oh, jeez.
You guys are welcome to proceed forward. Kinsalo, you can see Kinsalo's like his body language is he's like about to go forward until told otherwise. So like you guys are put in a position of pressure to make a decision on approach from this northern bridge stair stepping case or a more southern one. Here, I'll actually just bring you to the map. By default, you have been placed up on the top of the map, but there are a couple of different pathways you could take. There's this one, there is this one, there is this one, or this one. I believe there are 4, and 5 over here. There are quite a few different locations you could proceed from.
I would say, eat nothing in there.
I'm hungry though.
Don't be hungry.
What if I only eat 50% of what I see because the other half is poisonous?
In this place, actually, all of it's poison.
Oh, good thing you said something.
Mhm.
Right. So
Critter, just to understand this, so like all of the buildings are elevated.
these are enclosed with a topped cap, kind of a conical shaped roof.
And the points you pointed to are like stairs or ramps leading up to them.
Upward. Yep.
Okay.
And then you are able to see further into the center, kind of an elevated circular connected bridge way. It's not dissimilar from kind of some of the bridgeways you encountered in Kilodine when you're in the Caniloth jungle with the bird folk. Just like the shape of these kind of like elevated tiered wooden bridge workings. But this space in this center area is not capped with a roof. But there does seem to be a big tree, kind of leafless, sprouting from within it.
And last environmental thing, is the singing coming from any one of these or all of them, or
It seems to be coming from somewhere in the center toward that position. There's kind of a series of lanterns that are set and held aloft by various tree branches off in the distance. There's some versions of light peeking through windows or gaps in wood in some of the huts and stuff, but most of the light of this space is held in that center non-roofed portion, and there seem to be like lanterns, and it's definitely coming from like that direction.
Let's go kill a witch.
Right. If I know anything, if I've learned anything from horror-themed plays, it's that we should split up. Go in like 2 groups, maybe everybody by themselves.
And
something
how
like that.
wait, do you usually stick around for the end of the play?
I usually get too scared.
Okay.
What if all of us stay together, except because Jerry's the bravest, we send him on his own?
Well, I mean, you'd send like Elfie with me, and then like you'd come obviously to be my bodyguard.
But you're a wonderful fighter. You've been training. You're no coward. You can be on your own.
Okay, then yeah, just me and Toby then.
No, Kinsala's hurt. Toby can't go. He needs to be here in case Kinsala.
Okay, the 3 of us, and then you and Roulette go that way.
All right,
Just
I'm
follow our
going.
instincts once we go.
And Kinsala starts to move forward up the stairs right in front of him.
I'm following right behind Gonzalo. Gonzalo, just take your time while you're going. Just watch your step.
He keeps his head forward, facing forward, doesn't turn to you, but he gives a nod and acknowledgement. But he's got his spear at the ready to strike anything he deems. And then he just sets his spear down and rushes forward.
Oh God!
You first, Alberian.
Vault over you.
And he slows his gait, and his wings spread out wide and lift him into the air, and he hovers about 10 feet up in the air or so to this lantern. And now you realize what is held within the lanterns doesn't seem to be fire, but rather flickering like spirits of translucent energy that are strangely bound within the constraints of the lantern cages, even though they're not walled in. But these spirits are flickering between gold and green, almost like flames, but you can see like the visage of small wings almost recoiling and flapping occasionally. She's bound all of them into these cages.
Oh God!
And you are seeing all of these lanterns in the vicinity that are kind of lit up with golden light. There's a couple candles on this map, but primarily all the bright yellow golden ones are lanterns that are just glowing with trapped children of Remnus. What do we do? How do I get it out? And he starts to kind of investigate the frame of the housing to see if he can figure out how to get around it.
We have a mechanic with us. Can you just have keys?
Okay, get up here. There doesn't seem to be a keyhole.
Is there one directly above my head?
Yes. Yeah, but it is a little out of reach. You would need to elevate yourself in some way to get up.
I'm tall. I'll pick
Perhaps
you up.
on the back of an ostrich.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, you can absolutely get on either Jiri or Alfie.
Picture Jiri like ready, like he doesn't even wait for you to say. He like turns around, he's like ready for you to hop on him, and then you just hop on the ostrich next to him.
Dang, jump here. You want a piggyback ride?
I think I'd crush you.
All right, Roulette, if you are getting up there and inspecting, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
So I'm up. I'm like eye level with it.
Yes, if you're up on either Jiri or Alfie, yes, you're up elevated enough to get a close enough eye.
I'm not on Jiri. I will turn to Jiri and be like, Jiri, I don't need the lift, but I do appreciate this. And I will take out my eyes of minute seeing to attempt.
This will absolutely give advantage to this check. Also, your text that you sent me is 100% clear. That's totally great.
Perfect.
Oh. I killed Jiri.
Great strength check. But yeah, Roulette, go ahead, give me. I know the eyes of minute seeing, I don't recall if they're based on perception or investigation, but they are going to give advantage to this Arcana specific check.
It says investigation. That rely on
that's okay. It'll still apply here. I'm going to consider that as like any close-up inspection check. 15 is enough that although you don't see any locks at Kinsalo's direction, you do as you move your eyepiece from side to side, it looks like there's no walls to these lantern cages. There's just the iron bars that kind of would house a flame or something. And then you do see a shimmer kind of creating an invisible barrier around each of those walls. You suspect this is akin to an arcane lock spell, something your dad certainly would have known how to cast and would have told you about. You think this is something like that.
Gonzalo, I don't think there's any key. This is a magical kind of thing. And I'm just gonna take out a tool and like try and like tap against it to see if I can get the tool to go through.
Yeah, go ahead. That's actually not going to be required to roll with a tool. You kind of tap it off the edge of that, and you just see like little sparks kind of fly harmlessly, but definitely reaffirming the idea that there is a barrier there. I want to tell Pyrian to give me a perception check randomly.
22.
How random.
That's really good. as the others are kind of, and I don't exactly know if it was Jiri's thing intended to be a real
No, it
thing,
was just
or
us
if that was
fucking
just
around,
just
but-
for joke. Okay. So as Roulette and Kinsalo are seeing to the children of Remnus, and we can get to what Jiri and Toby are looking at in a second, but as you're kind of surveying your surroundings in this very odd place, you see something grisly that is a personal affront to you from a cultural perspective. The tree that is kind of sprouting and held aloft in this central bridgework wooden space is some defiled aberration of a circumstance. It is at the base of the tree is a decapitated deer. And it's antlers and horns. Is that displaying for everyone?
No.
Here, let me make sure I do that right.
Are you about to display a deer? Oh.
Oh.
It seems to have had its head cut off, and where its antlers had been, from its antlers have been like split open, and a tree growing from within it. This horrifying visage of your surroundings, and obviously here doesn't do it justice of how far up these antler branches go, but it fills the entire space with this kind of tree-like shape here in the middle.
I'm gonna impale this witch on those antlers.
But Roulette, you have identified that there is some sort of arcane abjuration preventing these mournful singing creatures from escaping their restraints. And I actually would like everyone to give me a wisdom saving throw as you are surrounded by this haunting sound of the children of Remnus in a disheveled and mournful state.
Jiri, you get to add 1 to that.
Just one?
Yeah, just
Flat one?
Noticeably, this is not considered a charm effect if that plays into people's abilities.
So Alfie should do it too.
Alfie should do it too, yes. Because it definitely registers in his audio receptors. Everyone rolled really well. Roulette is the only person that did not quite meet the DC. There is, keep in mind that you feel an additional sense of unease in this moment.
Oh, noted.
I will make that maybe come into play in the future as appropriate. But you have an additional sense of unease as these songs, and you getting right up there at the source of one of these songs, it's just like putting you off.
Literally, the glasses, I have to be within a foot of it. So
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Who is Remnus?
As
Archfey
just
mounts.
yes, as described by the bird folk
I got you.
and archfey, that the Aarakocra, you were almost surprised to know that the Aarakocra were so well versed of archfey, and Remnus is an archfey that you know of, or rather, no, that's correct. It is the mount, the famed mount and companion of Akkadi, the combined Airdrie and Sirenita goddesses, or at least how it's represented in birdfolk culture.
And do I know what kind of beast shape it takes as a mount?
Yes, you know this, and it was affirmed in your discussions with the birdfolk, but Remnus is famously a monolithic gargantuan woodland dragon whose wings are not held with thin leather, but like leafy feathers that sometimes drift off and fall upon the land periodically.
Okay.
And you recall that, and all of a sudden, as you guys are surrounded in this space, is there anything you guys are looking for, prodding at, trying to do? Kinsalo is certainly becoming agitated and trying to like wrestle the lantern from its restraint.
I am trying to not fully ascend the staircase.
Okay.
and I want to, as best I can, with maybe some foliage and whatnot, hide and keep an eye out, like for the whole vicinity while they're more individually investigating.
Okay. Go ahead and give me active perception check. Your passive may catch some things as well. That's really good. I'm gonna say they both kind of flag the same thing. As you guys are, and before I get to that, is anyone else doing anything in particular that they want to make sure they get in here?
I'm actively trying to see if I can communicate with the thing that's inside this lantern. Like that feeling of unease makes it like I need to get this thing out, and I'm feeling very nervous about it.
As you are investigating that, one thing of note that does kind of happen, your father has devices that of mechanical means kind of respond to audio cues in a very otherworldly sense. These creatures are doing similar, not like registering an audio input in like a sound wave might indicate enhanced audio, but as you talk, as anyone talks in the space, you can see their forms like flicker and shift with volume. These are very sonic creatures in their nature. And as you are kind of picking up on that, and
can I say what I was doing? I have my sword out, illuminated, and I'm kind of just peering at that deer with more.
Okay.
Just like checking that out.
Perfect. Will you remind me what your sword's radii are?
I got you. It's 10 feet. It's 20 feet, and like then bright by me.
Bright in 10, less in 20.
Oh, if you can use bright light in 10, dim light for an additional 10 feet. Yeah.
Okay. I just kind of like to do this when I can because I think auras are kind of fun. So you've got that light kind of emanating in the space. And as you're moving it around and just examining your surroundings, Tobirama, you do pick up something from the side kind of catches your attention. There's a small rustling of the bushes off over here.
Roll it, back off, get down. Like,
and after
whisper, shout at Roulette.
And after just a moment, as you get people's attention and directing it that way, a small creature steps out of the bush.
Raga!
Oh no, this is not where I want to be. This is bad. Where? Oh no, my friends, you all. What are you doing here? She seems very timid and clutching like a staff with kind of withered roots by her side, like holding her up.
Are you friends with the witch?
I can't say I am. Who's the witch?
Oh. Isn't this her home?
This is the home of a great being. I don't think they are any witch.
Oh, we have
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, it's my mistake. We had a misunderstanding. Someone told us a witch lived here, but they weren't very trustworthy.
Oh, Kinsalo. Good, you're here. I suspected I could count on you to come this way and rescue me once you shook off your charmed influence. You were very devoted to freeing the children, after all. How do they look, Kinsalo? The great being of this place thinks they're sometimes casting too much light, normally insulting her with their melodies. But as they've warped, they've sort of become this lovely cacophony of mournful suffering.
Can I get
delightful.
Okay, yeah.
And as Kinsalo looks in horror at her,
yeah,
his eyes go wide. As Raga's form starts to slowly rise taller.
Wait, we gotta see Raga before you make her nasty. I want to see how cute she was.
Oh, thank you for bringing my staff back, by the way, young one over there. Looking at Tobirama. I must have been too eager in my desire to come back home to remember to fetch it. I must admit, some of the company you have gathered, Kinsalo, is delightful. You two are rather disgusting, looking at Roulette and Tobirama. And that abomination, toward Alfie, is utterly revolting. But an elf, and you, looking at Jiri, I have not smelled that type of scent in a very, very long time. Yes, Kinsalo and the two of you shall do nicely. And she taps with her withered staff on the ground twice. And a terrible sensation starts to rock your environment all around you. The ground underneath lurches and transforms. All the wooden huts and bridges and surroundings are decimated, blown away in shrapnel of debris. And the forest terrain dissolves into a bright and warped color, taking on a similar color palette of the Feywild sky, but twisted and far less beautiful. You see the stone foundations platforms held beneath each of the huts begin to lift and be held aloft in this space. And floating next to that which you are on, you see Raga undergo a violent transformation. Her bones snap and dislocate and extend, stretching her skin and her wings, and you see her arms split at the bone, forming into 4 long segmented limbs instead of just 2. And she continues to grow, warping into a gargantuan form that looms 30 feet high above you and much wider. And as she grips the now floating platform you reside on and leans toward you all, I would like you all to roll initiative.
Can I say something to Kinsalo as this is happening?
No.
Yeah.
Also, I cast like 50 spells while that was happening.
You're not gonna mind if we kill this bird, right?
Oh, she has done this to the children. We must rescue them.
Ball sack and
Oh
shit.
wait. Oh shit.
Toby, do us honor.
Why does it not send my rolls to the thing sometimes? That is frustrating occasionally. Oh, it's because she's not on the... Oh, that was stupid of me. She's on the wrong layer.
Did she say the
Oh, she already
someone
rolled.
else had secured the children in there?
She was implying a witch didn't do this, something far above a witch. A witch is a demeaning term, and you do immediately suspect she was just revulsed by that term being thrown her
So
way.
she didn't indicate someone else did it. She's just saying like, well, I think she
Being
did it.
facetious.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, we never got to go back to Jiri, but I wanted to cast Elemental Weapon while she was doing her little monologue there.
Yeah, that's fair. You could have gotten that off.
Specifically using the ring as like the extra spell slot I get from the ring.
Got it. Man, this is so frustrating.
Was she
I know
was
it's
she
happening,
was speaking?
but I know.
common,
I
I assume.
Oh shit! Yeah, she was speaking in common this whole time.
So quick note, Jiri, for how that functions. The spell, it doesn't store a spell. As opposed to.
Oh yeah, it
Oh.
refuels one. So you
No, but
could...
I casted. I saw.
Oh,
I
Armor of
printed out.
Agathis, so
I
you are
cast
refueling it.
level 4 Armor of Agathis. Got a level 3 back, which I used to cast. The level 3 I used specifically to cast Elemental Weapon because it doesn't get a boost at being level 4.
Perfect. I mean,
I
that
still have
because-
one level 4 left. Is the
Yeah.
plan.
Just from an economy
to roll
perspective,
that.
it's an action to refill it. But you know that.
Yeah. I was doing that while she was monologuing.
It's so hard not to interrupt the monologue and be like,
I
"I'm
know,
sorry."
but it's just like, just chill.
Yeah.
But a spell in a minute is totally fine. Yeah.
It's so funny. I didn't think This is the most Dragon Ball Z anime.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
it totally feels like you're held aloft on like stone platforms, and you can see the colors swirling in the background of Fey twilight, but it does seem darker and warped and terrible.
We're like in the middle of space, like in a nebula.
Yes, the forest, that was part of the description. The forest has completely dissolved away, flecking away as if an illusion, and this seems to be all that's around you now. But Tobirama, you are the quickest to move in this moment.
Is Kinsalo on initiative?
He was intended to be, but my damn thing's not adding people's turns to this shit.
Gotcha.
Go for it.
Okay. In for a fucking penny. I am going to run up and attempt to touch its little hand holding that hammer thing, and I'm going to cast Bestow Curse.
Okay. What does she need to do here?
A wisdom saving throw. She's probably very wise.
Fuck.
Advantage 2. That's so unfortunate.
Gotta learn that somehow, though.
Although, even with advantage, does not succeed.
Okay.
What
And a plus
curse do you
5?
bestow
Okay.
upon her?
So, while cursed.
Oh shit! I clicked her wisdom score, not her wisdom saving throw.
You should
So
just add
she
4 to
actually does have a
those.
6. She does have a 16. That is a +4 to that. Does 16 meet your DC?
Yes.
MK's idea of just adding 4 to the roll. Oh, that's the 16.
Yeah.
What is your? Yeah,
It meets it, so it beats it.
You get a
So
hat.
you do reach forward and you feel it take her, and then a surge of confidence. She looks at you with like void eyes. There's just like ichor dripping from the eyes, but she is in a terrifying appearance right now. And she
Like
is
how you-
holding those items. She's holding in each arm a lantern, a bell, a mallet, and a paintbrush. She is decked out in very odd bits and baubles.
I will then, still up close, shimmy a bit, maybe there.
Okay.
And I will use a bonus action to release my radiant soul in a slightly diminished capacity.
Perfect. Yeah, you with heightened adrenaline pumping through your system, you try and conjure the fact that you have done several times before, but you have put a lot of intent to it and care into its form in the past. But this, you just need it now, and you just summon it. You do feel like it's less vibrantly purple. It is still flecking away at the same duration, but it's less vibrantly magical. But you do have this capability.
Your wings up.
Yeah, my wings are
He's
out.
got his wings
I
up.
was curious if you have a little thing on my token to allow the wings to be shown.
I don't have like, you can do like flips of tokens and add additional images to kind of trigger that thing. I don't have that capability, or I haven't done that
So
yet.
I'll just put this guy there.
Ooh.
Okay. That is so close. My
What
turn.
a roller coaster. Up, down, up,
Oh.
down.
But yes, you do have your wings out. You are free to move into the air if at all you wish. But perfect.
That's my
Otherwise,
turn.
that'll be it for Toby. Roulette, you are next to move.
Environmentally, and I'm the lantern that's in the hand, because I was just 1 foot away from another lantern. Is this an identical lantern, but like medium size now because it's in the hand of a gargantuan creature?
It is considered a large lantern, and it is void of a child of remnants. There is not a child of remnants contained within this lantern, but it is large and could encapsulate, you think, a couple of you.
Oh God!
Big enough
Mallet,
for several medium creatures to fit into.
mallet, paintbrush, and it's just a bell in the other hand.
Yep.
Okay. Because I had them at the ready like an hour ago, I am. Oh my god! Sorry, FedEx truck just drove by
You're
with
fine.
its back door open. I'm just gonna shout it out. Careful what you're listening to. I don't know what that bell's gonna be used for. If you need me, wave me down, and I'm gonna put my Mobi 3 headphones on, not activated, but noise canceling at this point, to purposefully deafen myself. And I'm going to firebolt directly at the bell.
Okay. You are welcome to aim at it. Go ahead and roll. Uh, 20 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. 10 fire damage. Got it. You see her reach her arm back, but you do see flames curl up her wrist and deal this enormous creature some damage, but it does not drop the bell from her hand quite yet.
Alfie, same thing. And I'm just going to do one charge from the wand directly at the bell hand again.
Okay, go for it.
4,
Go ahead and roll damage.
3.
I like what I see there.
With 13, you see those darts of force all just like go up her festering skin that had just started to burn, and she screams in pain, ah! And the bell does drop and crash to the ground. It makes a haunting noise when it falls, but does not otherwise do any immediately obvious things. But it certainly has been dropped from her hand, and her hand seems very much in pain.
And I will. No, I'm done. That's my turn.
Okay.
I'm
Jiri,
just going to
you
stay
are
where I
up.
am.
Alright, Jiri's gonna be like, oh dang, this is like the second biggest bird I've ever seen. And he's gonna try to like maneuver in between its legs. Can I like get to the other
Yeah.
side of its hand from Toby?
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's got his sword, he's got it charged. He's gonna say to Adras in his mind while he's like running between the legs, hey Adras, do you think you could help me focus? Usually or recently Meko has been helping me, but I need your help. Help me focus on this big bird thing.
Of course. Let's get out of this together. And your focus is able to be placed.
And then I'm gonna attack it twice with Stormbender's Edge. Fully
Go
charged.
ahead and
fully
roll.
Focused. With advantage.
Do you get advantage? What is giving you advantage?
I'm a
Flanking
threatening
with
creature.
Oh,
Toby
are
here
you
on this
striking at
flag.
the just the hand specifically?
Yeah, I'm
Because you are in
attacking-
no way flanking this creature. Just to
No, I'm
clarify,
talking
you
about
can absolutely
flanking
be
the-
flanking the hand. Yeah,
The hand, yeah, I'm attacking
the hand that has the mallet in its hand.
Yes.
Absolutely, you can have advantage on that strike. Uh, 19 hits for. Okay, so split that damage up for me. What's the 4 in there? Is that from the focus?
4 is from elemental weapon. The 1 is from the extra magic
the
damage
actual
of. Yep, and then
of just the Levin's edge of the lightning.
focus is why it's a plus 11.
Oh, got it. So that's already baked into there. So it's but it's 19 regular magical and 5 lightning, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so as you swing your sword down, you cut into her arm, but you are frustrated by the fact that even your magical weapon does not fully sink into the arm of this as satisfying as you wanted to, although the lightning does streak into the form and deal pain. But you have dealt damage, just not as much as you intended.
Okay, and I'll swing again.
Go for it. Still advantage. Okay. That is, we'll say 7 and 6. Same scenario. You sink into that same spot. You cut further down, but you're like, I've never felt this much resistance with this magic sword before. But the lightning is still taking effect.
All right, that's it.
All right. It is Raga's turn.
Jeez.
You all are very interesting creatures. I need to learn a bit more about your capabilities first. How about maybe they can fight you better than I can at first? And she wields this enormous paintbrush, and with a swirl around her, ink blots drip onto various platforms. And frustratingly familiar forms start to grow out of the blots of ink.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, that should do. Now I can learn a bit more. And that will be Raga's turn. It is Kinsalo's turn. Oh, shit. You will die for what you've done to the children of Remnis. Ha! And he takes a light in flight and soars directly at her head and makes a spear attack. Actually, two of them with his multi-attack. 1 and 2. Flavor-wise, I'm going to say that the first one misses, but then he adapts on the second one and does strike true, although he's like, it's not working. And he seemed to have pierced the side of her head, but it's not sinking in all the way. His blow also dealing not full damage. You also notice the moment he took flight and soared toward Raga, so too did his shade soar toward Toby Rama and take a strike. 1 and 2. You adapt in time to dodge the second, but the first one deals 5 points, not of bludgeoning damage, but of psychic damage to you, as the shade he doesn't mimic the exact trajectory of Kinsalo's actions, but he mimics Kinsalo's actions that he took, and he swiped twice with his spear, trying to injure you. So you take 5 psychic damage. And are you concentrating on a spell?
No.
Okay. But you take 5 psychic damage. That is it for Kinsalo, held aloft, flapping at the head of this creature. Telperion.
I love it.
Okay, I knew there was no point in planning my turn because I was like, something's gonna happen and it's gonna change everything. And that is what happened, in fact.
What you got? You do see, as you see these ink blots falling and then like rising into shadows, mimicking the forms of all of you in her vicinity. And you saw that one that mimicked Kinsalo soar toward Toby and attack him as he attacked.
Taking
Raga.
1 step forward. Wait. No, I'm not. I'm going to take 1 step here. And then I'm going to activate my boots.
As you move forward, so too does your shade. Not mimicking the exact trajectory of your movement, but still moving. And you activate your boots as a bonus action.
For the first time. So I take 1 foot and I just slam it in the ground and dragon like a little bit of fire,
like a rocket ship about to take off, which you guys don't know that in this world, but just like billowing smoke and flame starts to pour from Telperion's boots.
Am I in 5 feet of her hand, or is that?
Yes, you are in 5 feet of her hand.
So can I roll a d6?
Yes, if you have moved within. Yes, absolutely.
Just start doing figure eights between
2.
your legs.
It's only
I
once
think
per
that
turn.
is specifically, it's once per turn, so it specifically avoids that type of interaction.
So my movement speed is 80 right now.
It is, yes.
It's 5 of my 75. So
Because is what a Charlance, just remind me, is it just doubles your speed currently?
no, for the duration, your speed. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I think it
It's
just
60.
increases your speed, but I forget kind
For
of.
the
Yeah,
duration,
your speed is 60
increases
now.
by 20, so I went from 40 to 60.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah,
you move
so
within
you're
5 feet of a creature or an object that isn't being worn, it takes a d6.
Yes. So your speed is 60, but otherwise keep going.
I'm gonna take a running jump and I'm gonna leap over here.
Okay, you are definitely able to easily clear that, especially with the boots. So you jump over to the shade. Noticeably, her form does not reach after you with an attack of opportunity.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I forgot. It can't. Okay, so and then I take my blade and I'm gonna swing at Shadow Toby twice.
Go for it.
Toby.
And as you jump, so too does your shade, jumping toward the nearest thing it can attack. And so with each attack you make at Toby, it attacks you as well.
Okay. 15 plus 7 on my first hit. Should I just roll it? Oh, actually, no. There's no. Yeah.
You strike that one and see your shade coming for you, and you dodge it in time.
So cool. So I take my blade and I go through Shadow Toby, and then I like come around back and I block that way as he tries.
Very fucking cool. Very fucking cool.
So I'm doing something.
You did how? Or what was your roll to hit on the shade of Tobirama?
15 plus 7, 22.
Oh yeah, absolutely hits.
I'm gonna Psionic Strike him.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Rolling the 1 on the Psionic Strike. Oh, I got 3 4s. So 12 plus 7 is 21. 21 damage.
19
damage. So he takes 19 damage.
Well, keep going.
I do 19 damage to output. We'll see how it lands. Some of that was force. Doesn't matter how much.
Oh, was any of it force?
Yeah.
None of that was force yet.
Striked.
Oh, I thought you were rolling that separately. Yes, please parse out the
okay, so I did 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 8 piercing or slashing, magical slashing damage. I did 4 psychic damage, and then I did 7 force damage.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So 12 and 7. You notice your blade cut through very unsatisfyingly, just swiping through the shade, and you do see it like recoil and split, but then form back together, resistant to even magical slashing damage. However, the detonation of force that accompanies your strike definitely blasts back its shadow form pretty satisfyingly. So it functionally takes half on the magical slashing, but the normal on the force.
I'm gonna roll another
the psychic too, right?
There was 4 psychic.
It resists the psychic as well.
Okay.
No, Christ. I moved into his space, so I'm gonna do my fire damage to him now.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Put it right off the thing. That's another 2 fire.
It is another 1.
He needs to make a DC strength saving throw of 14.
-1.
Tobirama is not known for his strength.
Okay. So that strike that I did with the psionic energy, as the blade hit him, the force like knocked him to the ground and he's prone.
Perfect. You do see him take that. You're almost wondering if a shadow can go prone, but it does fall to the ground as if a real physical being.
So on my second attack, I'm going to roll at advantage.
Yes, you are, and it will do the same.
Good shit.
12 plus 7 is 19 to hit.
Yes, and the shade rolls a 25 to hit you.
Okay, so I take 9 psychic.
Rolling an advantage?
Because Telperian's rolling with advantage.
Oh my god.
So I took 9 damage.
Yes, and noticeably it is psychic damage. It is not what you expected. You do feel it as if it's cutting through you, but you also feel like a pulse to your mind as these things are dealing psychic damage, not normal damage.
Okay.
But go ahead and do your roll damage.
14 plus 4, so 18 damage.
14 and 4, so 7 and 4.
So I'm going to heal from that charge.
Half of the psychic, because it only dealt half, so you can only heal the half.
Oh, well. If everyone's
just as
psychic,
as
may
note.
as well do that. Okay, I'll heal 2 of the 4. Okay.
However, with this additional strike, you do see. Did you psionic strike on this one as well?
I can.
Oh, okay, that's right. Got it. So it does resist a good chunk of that damage, but otherwise, definitely still carves into it, and you are injuring the form of this shadow creature, but it's starting to try and knit back together periodically and stuff. It's just hard to deal grievous wounds to it.
All right, and then I'm gonna move back and forward and I'm gonna like step back, step forward, and some fire is gonna project from my boots at Shadow Topirian.
Okay, Shadow Telperion takes it and noticeably does not take a reactionary opportunity attack. Well, I guess he probably can't anyway.
6 fire damage.
6 fire, so 3.
I do believe that's everything I can do.
Got it.
I'm gonna make it harder for them. I'm gonna take one step back so they can't flank me. Pass
Okay.
the turn.
Sounds good. Tobirama, it is back to you.
It sure
A lot has
is.
happened since you've gone.
Well, what is nice is I had an option ruled out for me due to the copying nature of these things.
Yeah, who knows from a
jeez.
spellcaster's perspective how that action economy may be mimicked, but
I can't. I don't want to do that either. Okay, let's think about my scenario. I'm standing in front of this thing. I've got Kinsalo at my back, shadowy, attacking me. I can't do that because it's, oh my god. Oh no, this is what I would like to do. Did it strike me as the creation, like, as she did her ink blot, the spawning of that? Did that strike me as spell casting or just magical effect? Is there any sort of sense I could have gotten from that as it was happening?
I would say if you were proficient in Arcana, which I don't believe you are, I could have allowed a check to determine that pretty quickly. But no, you're not necessarily. It's certainly magical, but you're not sure if that's an innate capability or a conjured spell effect. You are not sure. No spell you've seen used.
Right.
Is all you can gather.
Choose one. Don't or within range. Or magical effect. I think this is a magical effect. But do I target Raga or do I target a shadow? Free spell. Make a melee check. Yeah, okay. I need to roll because I don't know what to pick. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on Shadow Toby.
So you see Shadow Toby over there. You target him. Is he within your distance
Yes.
Capability?
120.
Okay, so you see him over there and you target him with your magic. You trigger your effect, and Shadow Toby disapparates into nothingness.
And because oh, I have a bonus action available still. I would like to use it to regain a second level spell slot by harnessing some divine power. And
You are certainly able to.
And that is my turn. Do
Okay.
I want to be moving in any sort of way? Yes, I am going to sidestep like that.
Okay.
Um,
Still staying on the ground even though your wings are out, just for clarification.
That is a good point. Yes, at the moment, I am staying on the ground.
Okay. Roulette, it is your turn.
What did Toby do?
I dispelled Shadow Toby.
How'd you do that?
Dispel magic.
Oh my god.
Because what I wanted to do initially is like, fuck it, go for it. I'm gonna cast Blight on the monster, but I'm like, oh, I don't want it casting Blight on Telperion.
That's why I was going for yours first, because it's the scariest.
Oh yeah, Toby, that's a good bit of flavor I should add is as you were tracing your magic in the air and about to conjure it, you did see Tobirama, like a 2-second delay behind you. Shade of Tobirama was waving his hands in similar motion. So you're not sure if that would have taken a similar effect or not, but he was certainly mimicking your actions.
Right.
I'm picturing like an infinite counterspell loop. I'm gonna looking up at other Roulette, who does not look good with dark hair. Roulette's going to slowly take a step in this direction, like
As you
grapevining,
try and
watching herself.
as you move in that way, she moves in a diagonal, but kind of mirroring your horizontal location. So she moves here, just kind of almost antagonistically moving towards you, but giving some sense of mirroring your movement.
Staring at Shadow Self. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Branding Smite.
Okay. On your
Which
weapon.
I've never actually cast. Ignore that roll. I don't know why it does
Right,
that.
right.
And Smitey Flail lights up.
Smitey.
Slightly differently than the normal light. I will extend Smitey Flail, and I'm going to take 2 swings at Shadow Kinsalo.
Okay. As soon as you pull out your chain flail to start taking, the Shade Roulette dashes forward and does the same, running across the wing of Raga that has been like draped over 2 of these islands, runs over to this spot and takes 2 at Toby. So you see this as your first strike goes, Roulette's first strike goes. So go ahead and roll at Shade of Kinsalo.
No, what did I? Oh, that was.
Oh,
you.
that's going to hit Toby.
I want this to miss.
And that's going to hit Kinsalo. So Toby Rama, as you see Roulette running in kind of in your peripherals, you are struck from behind and you take 10 points of psychic damage. But Roulette, how much damage do you deal to Shade of Kinsalo?
It's this plus 2d6 radiant incoming.
Got it.
So 9 radiant, 6 bludgeoning.
Noticeably, although the bludgeoning impact kind of is unsatisfying when it hits the form of Shade of Kinsalo, which I need to take down here, the detonation of blinding light is very satisfying and like kind of eats away at the shadow form of this creature, definitely doing good damage. That's strike 1.
I am going to. So is Shadow Roulette like on ground level now?
Yes.
Okay.
She's on functionally your platform.
I mutter something in Southern Belle discontent about hitting my friends, and I'm going to go right here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take a shortened flail swing at Shadow Roulette.
Shade of Kinsalo does take a spear poke at you as you run by.
I just realized that Critter's gonna have to do a Southern accent for your parents one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely haven't already practiced that. You do feel a searing stab pain in your back as you take 10 psychic damage from leaving the vicinity of Shade of Kinsalo, Roulette. And if you're concentrating, I think you gotta maintain concentration here on Branding Smite.
Already used it. Branding Smite only lasts
concentration until it activates. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, which is the sad part for it. But no, because we're doing this for a reason. I'm swinging at other Roulette.
Deal. And she swings back at you, completely void of features, like a true silhouette, just pure shade. 15 does not hit off her. It hits off her voided black chest as if it hit a breastplate. And she will do the same at you.
Can I let this attack hit me?
Yeah, you can.
Don't have to. It's going to hit me anyway.
Yeah, it is going to hit you anyway. But yeah, 11 psychic damage as it whacks you.
Okay, so hold on. How much did Kinsalo did? 10, so 21 total. Damage. As it hits me, I'm going to let it just like hit my shoulder and then activate my shield to push Shade Roulette back 15 feet.
Okay, very cool. So does she have to make a save or that's just automatic?
It's just
All right.
automatic, which feels cheap, and I need to talk to you about that for like later levels.
No,
because
I don't think it's it. We're gonna say it's how it is intended. I will give it a dex save to see if it can grab onto any of her feathers on the way
yes.
down.
Yeah.
He hates when his powers work.
She does not. You see her grasping at nothing and plummet into the depths below. Gone.
Not bonus action, but just commanding Alfie. I will have Alfie roll up to here next to Toby.
Okay, no true action though, just movement.
No, he takes dodge because I already did bonus action.
Okay, you see Shade of Alfie move as well towards you all in a very defensively positioned way.
So is there a shade of Shadow Moby? A triple shadow.
There
It's
is no
real
shade
Moby.
of Shadow Moby. Only things that can functionally attack roll or deal damage with real action economy.
That's my turn.
That is your turn, Jiri. You are up.
All right, I'm gonna roll a perception check just to see if Jiri, because he's like kind of like in like underneath this bird. Like, does he see the other shadows and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say for free you can see the shadows moving around in your vicinity. No perception check needed for that. You can see those are within your view range.
Yeah, and I don't think he understands what's going on, so he's just gonna keep attacking.
Okay.
He's got the bird
still at that
hand
same
there.
hand.
Yep.
Okay. As you reach back for this strike against her hand, that hand raises the mallet and slaps the ground with her reaction. And I need to go to her reactions. This applies to Roulette and Jiri. As soon as the mallet strikes the ground, you hear pervasive in the entire environment around you surge in this horrifyingly off-putting melodic discontentment. And you suffer a D8 penalty to the next thing you do, both you right now as well as Roulette's next thing. Although, what's happening?
So this would be
I have
after
my headphones on. I can't hear this.
Oh, that's right. You cannot hear this, so this does not subject you to that.
Do I? Would I know that this is an audio effect, seeing the hammer go up and hit the ground?
I guess you see it come up and slap twice, and you don't hear the mallet bang, but you definitely don't hear the audible environmental situation.
After the first mallet bang, I will shout towards the general ether, "Cover your ears!" Specific. Well, I have to pick someone. Never mind. I wouldn't know.
You could shout that into the ether for free.
I have a new level 7 feature that I want to use, but
That's right.
Can I?
Yeah, does that apply to? Isn't that like ability checks or saving throws though?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not an effect that triggers that.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I just shout that and don't do anything.
Yes, you're welcome to just shout that. But Jiri, your first attack that still does have advantage per flanking does have a minus D8. That I'll let you roll. Put the fate in your hands. So go ahead and roll your attack with advantage like normal, and then just go ahead and roll a D8 for me. So 23 still absolutely hits. So although it is off-putting, you still just are just very committed to carving this thing apart. For two-handed, I assume, so 9 and 4 for 13 total damage. With that, you finally snap through the bone, and she pulls her arm away in horror as she has left her hand and mallet behind. You guys have disarmed her of 2 of her devices at this point.
What's the other one?
The bell.
She still has the bell in her hand.
Roulette,
she dropped the bell. She still has the paintbrush and the lantern in her hand. So go ahead and roll your next attack.
Is Shadow Jiri supposed to be doing stuff? Just helping the DM.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. As soon as this should be to Jiri's chagrin, as Jiri attacks, so too does Shadow Jiri move, and almost like gliding in the air, just jumps this chasm but like it just like takes a very flowing, flying motion.
Does it
and then
look like
moves his
Shadow
30
Jiri
feet.
can fly?
It does look like Shadow Jiri can fly. At least from visual phenomena, but he's actually going to the closest thing he can, so he will make a strike at roulette with both of these.
Jeez, face.
Does he
Or I could give you-
also suffer the D8 because Jiri had to suffer the D8?
You're not sure, actually.
I wish I could give you my reaction, Steve, since my reaction's useless this round.
But so that's the first attack. So roulette, you do take 13 points of psychic damage. And then Jiri, you're welcome to make your next attack.
MK, what did you do on your turn?
Well, Jiri
Dispel
knocked.
Toby.
Oh, that was still it. Okay.
Jiri cut the hand off that thing, so then he sees his own shadow running up, and he's gonna yell thunder at it. And it doesn't say anything, and he says, "Oh, that's an evil shadow, Jiri. I got it, roulette."
Okay, so you run over there and are making attack against it.
Yep.
All right, it will recoil and make an attack directly against you.
They go slightly after us, right? Like they have to see our thing.
Well, yeah, it's like a 2-second delay situation.
Okay.
Boom, boom. And as you strike into it, you expertly parry its own strike directly afterward. As you dodge it entirely, but you deal to it 9 and 6. Got it.
This is also resistant to magical damage. I
All
can
of
tell.
the shadows seem to be very unsatisfying to injure with your weapons, although the lightning certainly courses through it successfully.
All right, and then I'll use my bonus action to punch it twice.
Okay, go ahead and do that. It will do a thing, but not exactly the same. Um, 15 does not hit, as it has the same AC as you. And 8
Oh my
does
God.
not either. So both of these hit, and you see it start to, as you do that, you see limbs start to grow out of it, and like Machamp, just 2 bludgeoning situations just hit you once,
We were never going to kill
Try-
it.
I kind of want this
trying
to,
to mimic what you did to it, which it does for I will say this is the same as your first hit, for 4 psychic damage.
And it gets blasted by steam.
for 20.
It does indeed, for 20.
So fucking cool.
At 20 temp then? Oh, no,
Yep.
you gave yourself an temp.
Yeah, so you lose some of your attempts, but you see just this gust of flaming iridescent steam just launch at this creature, and although you do see it like take to the form, some of it just passes through it. It is still certainly resistant to this damage. But this the form of Shadow Jiri is looking pretty injured. It's like dissipating slightly and trying to cohese back together. Will that do it for Jiri?
Yep, that's it for Jiri.
Raga, with a free hand from her bell and a lantern cage in her
Oh,
left
shit.
hand, she starts to swat at Kinsale. Get out of my way. They're grouped up perfectly. And she takes her lantern and slams it down
Oh my
in
God.
the vicinity of, I need Roulette, Toby Rama, and Alfie to make a dexterity saving throw.
This
Steve.
one, because Toby's in that direction of where I'm looking, I will shout, "Look out!" Something. We're keeping it simple. I don't even.
You only-
I will shout, "Look out!" to Toby, and Toby, you get a +4 to your roll.
Can you only give it to other people?
I don't.
That's a good
know,
question. I
actually.
don't know.
I think it's
Four
when
plus
you were.
four.
Unfortunately,
Oh yeah.
Toby looked up in horror, seeing this thing coming down to him, and he was not able to react in time. But
Oh,
Alfie
never
and
mind.
Roulette,
I don't get to
please
use that.
give
It's
me
a reaction.
Oh,
Oh, and you already took your reaction?
Yep. Never mind.
What was your reaction, just literally out of curiosity? Because I
the
can't
shield
remember.
push for
No.
Roulette.
Oh, that's right.
Roulette
That's right.
off.
That's right. Yep. Beautiful. But Dex saves, Roulette and Alfie. Roulette.
+4.
Success.
+4. Jesus.
Toby's strong. He can break out.
Alfie and Toby. As this thing starts hurling down towards you, Alfie and Toby take 12 psychic damage and are restrained. Roulette, you dodge out of most of the way of it, but it does still clip your leg and you take 6 psychic damage. But you guys are functionally restrained.
Psychic, you said?
Just psychic, yes. And Toby and Alfie are restrained.
Okay.
You're next, little flying bug. And as she like eyes Kinsala at the corner of her eye. But that is Raga's turn.
Are they in the thing or they're just restrained? Oh, is she like holding the
She
lantern
has
over
put
them?
it down on top
I
of
see.
them. So she is holding it with that arm functionally on them. Let them go.
Can I yell?
And Kinsala. Yeah, what do you want to yell?
I want to. Ooh, I can. How far is he? Is he within 60? I think to Kinsalo and I say, break her grip on it. I put that in his mind.
Yes, good idea, comrade. And Kinsalo takes a kind of stance in the air and with a burst of magic swirls and transforms as he takes on a different appearance
Gargantuan.
of a large red hawk that immediately soars down to the cage and is going to make a multi-attack in its hawk form at
Wow.
the cage with its beak and then its talons.
Hit, baby.
With 2 successful hits, I'm going to say, and 20 piercing damage, he is able to sever the hand holding over the cage. So the cage is still on you, but you guys may have advantage or something trying to get out of it because she is no longer holding on to it. And Raga is now missing 2 arms and is looking kind of like frail and hurt in a way. And that is Kinsalo's turn.
Okay. I have a quick rule clarification for Chardalon. When you move within 5 feet of a creature that isn't being, it takes 1d6. When I move within
when
5
movement-
feet, so if I go from here to here, that's
We're going to
I'm moving
simplify
within
this.
the
We're going to simplify this. It's not move into or move out of. It's just if movement occurs
within
and
that
you
space.
were within 5 feet of them at some
Okay.
point in that movement,
Just
that's
run those
fair.
Fucking circles.
So I go 1 step back, and I'm gonna do another running jump. Oh wait, do I need to just go 1 step back?
20, maybe a little bit.
You also have doubled distance, so you can functionally jump 20 feet without running with your
Yeah.
boots active. So
With- I'll just step back and do a running just in case because it's literally
Okay.
20 feet. So
Yep.
I go 1.
and as you leap away, Shade Telperion is certainly injured by the flames that trying to lick into his form.
1. Halved
Got
to
it.
1.
And you round down so it becomes 0.
Okay. Very important timing thing. I have a little bit of advantage on time, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just did this. If you
Yeah.
looked behind you, you might see what's happening.
I turn around right now.
He is beginning his approach, running, intending to. You're seeing the body language
Yeah.
imply he's going to jump.
I'm gonna step 1 foot back, so there's and then wait for him to jump. And once
He
he's
is midair.
in the air, I'm gonna push him with my Kair to try to break his momentum, so he falls straight down.
Strength saving
With
throw.
Kair, you know, is a very, very minimal effect of 10 pounds of force. That is, you know,
No, with my
Kair is
token
not
bonus
going.
action push. My
Oh,
shove.
got it. That's right. I'm thinking Mage Hand, but you're right. Your bonus action push is fair game. So let's see if he can pierce that.
So it'd be a 14 strength check at disadvantage because she has no leverage.
But he's also got.
I think that's fair. Anytime you guys want to fairly justify or rationalize things, yeah, I'm open to that.
We did it that way with the Banshee thing in the air.
What was the save?
14.
You see him launch towards you and then just slow and then just sink and then fall, reaching upward toward you. And because he has not used his action yet, I'm going to say as he is falling, he looks back towards this thing and pushes towards it, giving himself telekinetic movement enough to push himself back in your direction. But I am going to need a dex save to see if he can clamber onto the edge.
I feel like I'm watching a shard battle right now. the lashings.
13.
Right
I was going to keep it the same as your DC. So with 13, you see him adeptly use telekinesis just like you did. But as he soars back into your direction, he still just falls short. You see his fingers like grip the side and plummet.
Yeah, never killed an elf before. I didn't realize how much he's like a windrunner. Fuck yeah. Woo! Topirian goes, woo! And then he turns around.
Bonus action used, action available.
Action
well
used.
Done.
Looking at that very juicy lantern, which is a large object.
Yes, it is a fairly high held. Oh, it's actually on top of Toby and Alfie. My bad.
I'm going to hold out a hand, my non-sword hand, lift it up, telekinetic movement.
Using 2 sources of telekinesis in the same turn is amazing. And as you successfully dealt with your pursuer, you now look to your friends and just rise it up. And it does pull off of them, freeing them from the restrained condition. Where do you set it?
I gotta set it on the shadows, right? Or I get rid of it. I'm gonna set it on the shadows.
Okay, so you pull it off and you set it onto the shadows. They do not seem to take any reactionary movements to this, so you do successfully set it onto them.
And then that was, how much movement do I have left? I mean, I have enough to get up to her, right?
Yes, you have enough to get up to her.
All right, let's not let her do it.
60 right now, so
yeah, let's not let her do it again. I'm gonna go at the pen hand. I'm gonna action surge, and I'm gonna swing at her hand twice.
Okay, very cool. Go ahead and roll it.
8 plus 7 is 15.
8 plus
15.
7 is 15. She retracts her hand in time. You miss with the first strike. It glances off the wooden form of the paintbrush, but not damaging her.
Okay, I'll use my last attack to try to hit it. There we go.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Go ahead and roll it.
All right, let me I use my telekinetic movement. Just want to knock that off. Okay, I got a psionic strike on this.
Go for it.
Okay, rerolling that 2, 2 or 3. Okay, I'm writing this down. So 4 damage of 4 slashing plus 4, so 8 slashing from this first, and then 3 psychic. Oh no, that's the wrong die.
Yeah, give me a total at the end of the roll. Give me this slashing, this force.
So 4 plus
or this
3
slashing and psychic.
Oh no,
and this
yes. 4 plus 3 is 7 slashing. Of let me do. I had to do it all twice though. And then the psionic was 4 plus another 4. Oh no, plus 3 because I have 3 modifier there. And then it was 3 psychic. So that's 3. And then I'll do that all again. Rolling that 1. Okay, hell yeah. So then that next psychic, sword. Okay, so then we had 8 plus another, oh no, plus the modifier only 1 time. So another 8. And then the psychic again was 4. And then the sword was 6 this time. Okay, so 7 plus 6 is 13. So 13 slashing.
Okay.
8 force. 7 psychic.
Force, 7 psychic. She also has different things. The force, the slashing, you feel okay, so here's what happens. You, with your first strike, you miss. She like parries your sword almost with this wooden large paintbrush. And the second one, you adapt and put extra strength and force empowering your attack. You cleave through the paintbrush, but then you stop as you impact into her knuckle, as it is unsatisfying and her cutting into her flesh. However, the force helps propel your blade further into her knuckle, and then as psychic damage pulses into the brain of this beast, I need her to make a thing. Oh, actually, I should do it from here. Oh, the nat 20. You feel the entire realm around you shake and quake, but you successfully have damaged this creature, and nothing else of note has happened. But
So our con save was at advantage.
it was.
Okay. That's all I can do.
Three.
Oh, plus
Plus
another,
three.
plus a d6 because I moved into her space. Plus 3 for
No,
fire
sure,
damage.
yes. Yep, got it. Which does affect it. She looks very injured. Two of her hands are missing. One is trying to reach, like you can see it trying to reach for the cage that has fallen from her grasp. Or actually, that's the one of the hands that is, so she's got her bell hand, which is now reaching for the cage. And her paintbrush hand is very injured. She's looking not great, even with her face being mostly unharmed. She is
7
still
psychic
taking
damage
quite a
was
hit.
halved. I'm sorry. 7 psychic was
Her
halved. to 3.
psychic was not halved on
Oh.
Raga.
So I heal 7 from that my sword.
Okay,
That's all.
perfect. All right, Toby Rama, it is your turn.
Feeling secure with my friends at my back and now that cage, I'm going to focus on this behemoth and this undeserving of continued life, and I will beseech Kelemvor to help me accelerate this thing's journey to death, and I will cast Blight on it.
As you cast Blight, you hear in your mind, "So it has been decreed." And you see just rot starting to fester amongst its feathers, up its neck. You see the ichor from its eyes start to drip further. I will give her her con save.
I'm assuming advantage for magic.
It is, in fact.
Dang. But it's
She
still, it's
she
half.
does succeed, but still half damage, and the radiant damage that accompanies the spell from your wings is not halved, actually.
So that's just an extra 3.
Okay, an extra 3.
Whoa.
For 13 or 14, because we round up, and then another 3 for 17 damage. You see her just like rot and wither, and she is looking very decrepit and injured. And that was interesting to get some semblance of acknowledgement from something in your mind.
Great.
Is that it for Toby? Anything with a bonus?
I will regain another 2nd level spell slot.
Okay, using your final harness
Yes.
divine power of the day,
Correct.
because you do have 2 of those per day since you hit level 6 or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Crit.
perfect. Yep.
I had told you 7 force total, right? I do believe I
7.
did. I'm sorry, I
force-
said 8
You
force
said
total.
7 psychic. You sure.
I shorted myself 7 of that force damage because I accidentally I shorted it 7, so I should have had 15 force.
So how much extra damage?
So you needed to add 7 in there.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 and then I had put it down and I thought it was totaled 8, but it was
Toby
8
Rama,
plus 4
after
plus
your
3.
magic takes hold, you, in addition to the effects previously described, she just is barely keeping herself up.
Go back to your cute form.
But that
That's-
is
that's
it
my
for you,
turn.
unless there was any. Oh, you use your bonus
No-
action,
no
harness divine
movement.
power. Roulette, it is your turn.
She wants the kill.
Yeah, she does. She's gonna have some
It's pretty
fun.
fucking low.
Gotta try out the new tools. I'm gonna turn my back to Shadow Jiri, take out my flail and my shield, and I'm just gonna tug on the weird little scarf on my hip, and I'm going to Misty Step on top of her head.
Fucking amazing.
And from
I'm
there,
gonna say, with you striking downward on top of her in a weakened state, I'm gonna give you advantage on this hit.
Hell yeah.
I would like a critical.
And you
Manifest
do
it.
have 2 hits, so you might as well, if you're attacking once, you might as well roll them both.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
The first hit, you swing downward, and it's awkward. You almost lose your footing. And with a 16, how do you kill the form?
I just
want to
make sure it's not like, oh, I'm rolling minimum 6 damage. Does 6 kill her?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Wait, why don't you have Alfie shoot?
I literally waited for the
Roulette
wrong
is super
trigger.
confident, and Roulette swings down, and she hears the thud of the 6, and she's like, "I did it!" Flail in the air. I'm just flavoring this because I know I'm gonna kill her. I feel her quiver, and then I'm just gonna have Alfie shoot a wand into her face, right where I hit her.
Right where you sink your mace into. Alfie immediately triggers the magic missile darts, which are automatically going to do enough damage here. They all spiral into her voided eyes. She does not have shield. As you cast into her voided eyes, you hit with your mace, and then a second later, a detonation of force outward just erupts, smashing the front of her face. You see her beak go flying, her ichor spray from her eyes.
Does Shadow Alfie shoot a magic missile?
I was wondering about that.
Oh, he's not.
It does not. Because you all open your eyes back here with Raga unconscious on the ground. Almost like literally waking from a dream. You literally blink and you're here. There are no shades. There is no gargantuan form of Raga. Just a spellcaster on the ground that looks something like this.
Oh, that's sexy.
I'm gonna try
and
see
immediately
if I can
you are given innate understanding that this must have been a very powerful magic user of the Fae. Certainly not spellcaster in the kind of classical sense, but magic user, because that was illusion magic that was affecting all of you, given form, and all of you are injured, but you look around you, there are no bruises, no cuts, no scrapes. It was all in your mind. You all feel weary and tired from the damage taken, but you are not physically injured.
I'm gonna see if a little Toll the Dead on this thing on the ground takes any hold.
Similarly to your blight, you just see it like fleck away, feathers drop and wither away. This thing is, you are further killing it, but it is affecting it. This creature on the ground is gone.
Ugh.
How you feeling, Kinsala?
Oh, and he comes out of his comes out of his bird form back into himself. The children. And he flaps his wings upward and reaches into a lantern past the barrier of where you previously saw the arcane lock and withdraws his hand. And a beautiful golden green flame writhing in his hand that then stretches out very small. It's considered a tiny creature, but stretches out small wings and then kind of leaves him and starts curling around him in his vicinity. And Kinsala, over the course of the next couple moments, is going from cage to cage.
Ooh, I want to try to grab the one that Jury's by.
Okay, you can absolutely do so. How do you get up in the air? They're all about 10 feet up in the air. So Jerry could probably jump, but your strength is not great.
Well, he'll kick his boots off and he'll
okay. Yeah, perfect.
Up.
With Levitate, you are easily able to allow yourself to reach in and grab, kind of gingerly cup this flame. It just feels like warm, writhing energy, not a physical form, but as you pull it out, similar scenario. A small, like avian like form stretches out little wings and otherwise kind of shifts into more amorphous mist energy and just starts to circle you. And you feel emboldened by that.
What up, my bird
We'll get to the mechanic of that later.
I want to...
How is everyone looking?
Full health, baby.
Full health?
I'm going to go up to Raga's corpse.
Full health, yeah.
I am down 40.
Down 40, I will give you a second level Cure Wounds. I'm also going to give you just 7. So 23.
Love it. I'm gonna throw a first level on myself as well. So 23.
Damn, that's a lot of healing. Good work.
Because I don't trust a witch to be dead, I'm gonna go up to Raga and I'm gonna cut off her head.
You are welcome to.
Yeah, and I say you all don't have to watch this, but I'm not gonna leave a corpse here just to have something happen to it.
You go over to it and kind of gripping her head in your hand and providing yourself some leverage with which to press your sword into and shear off. It's like butter comparatively to the resistance in that illusory form. You just cut right through her neck, severing the head from the body.
Hey, Kinsalo, what should we do about this place? Should we like burn down this tree or something?
Yes, make sure all the children are freed, of course. See if there's any other creatures that have been caged by this beast. Otherwise, yes, take anything you find or need, and then let's set it ablaze, certainly.
I'll follow in his footsteps and with the last 40 seconds or so, fly around and free some.
Yeah, because you do still have some wings, and Kinsalo you do, with your high passive perception and high passive insight, you do see Kinsalo eyeing you a couple times in surprise and bewilderment, not sure how your magic manifests, but impressed in some way.
I want to search your body, but I want to help with the fairies first.
Got it. You are... Most of them have been freed by this point. You might be able to get to one more.
I want to go to
all
one.
of them that are freed, just like a coalescing of spirits. They're all swarming Kinsalo right now as he has freed each one, other than the one that is swarming around Jiri. And you are able to. How do you elevate yourself to get up?
Oh, I'll just use Kair to bring the lantern down to me.
The lanterns are pretty fixed to the branch boughs they're on.
I will. Oh, I have to elevate myself. How high is it?
Just 10 feet. You could like a basketball. You could probably breach that easily, especially with your boots. You might just be able to hop, almost provide yourself
I'll, like, secure myself on the anchor
moment of buoyancy. Yeah.
So now I'll like grip on the anchor and I'll say, "Hello, friends," in Sylvan, and I'll let him out.
And as you reach in, it's similar sensation as it breaks its wings and then starts to swirl around you in an amorphous sense. As all of them have been freed, you notice the sound is changing. The mournful baying of these creatures is becoming more curious in nature and then joyous as they leave your forms who had rescued them. They cohese and kind of become this one swirling torrent of energy in the space. And they continue that for a moment. Anything you guys are doing in the meantime?
Checking out these rooms.
I'm just going to be observing.
I'll frisk the body.
Okay. Telperion, 2 things you get off her body. I shouldn't have said that. Investigation check, please.
One thing.
I asked Toby to come help me.
That's fair.
I'm not helping. I'll give you a pat on the shoulder.
Thanks
for a
D4.
D4.
Which I needed. I rolled a 1 on that. I rolled a 2 on the D20 plus a 1 plus 6. So 9.
You at least get the staff that she was clutching to her. It looks like a withered staff of branch work that is like rotting at the edges, and noticeably there are little trinkets hanging from the branches. There is a small mallet. There's a small bell. There's a small lantern. There's a tiny little paintbrush. They're all little trinkets kind of scattered amongst her otherwise kind of unassuming looking arcane focus. Not nearly as powerful as the staff she had left behind that you guys had already acquired.
Oh. So it just seems like a simple arcane focus?
Seems like a simple arcane focus.
I have the sense there's more on this corpse, but I don't know that for sure.
All right, let's get to Jiri. Go ahead and I'll let you make a investigation or perception check because there are some things here that perception is appropriate for.
Well, I'm better at perceiving. Not really.
What is happening?
Roulette, there's absolutely nothing in this room. No point in you coming here and checking after I'm done looking at it.
So that's that. You guys do hear a sound. Toby, around with your passive perception, while Jiri's checking this room over here, you do hear a sound coming from over there. And Jiri, we'll get to your investigation of this room here in a minute. But Toby, you do hear a sound coming from over here, like the scratching of metal, basically.
Like the room right next to me?
Room right next to you. And there is a wooden door that is kind of pulled to, so you're not just seeing into it. But Toby does. You probably also immediately hear a sound in there.
My headphones are off. I probably don't want to be near these like flying children because if I'm still like off-put from their music.
Yeah, so they have taken on a different melody. They are not off-putting anymore. They are beginning to be like kind of more like still hauntingly beautiful, but much more light, joyous, kind of more dancing melodies rather than like sorrowful sounds. It has noticeably taken a change. But regardless, you say may not want to be near them for whatever reason. But
failed wisdom save earlier is why I'm looking for an excuse to like go do something else. So if I hear something in that room, I will gently have Alfie open that door.
Okay. Alfie pushes the door open, and you see a number of cages.
Oh God.
There are a couple dead animals in here, a couple jackalopes, a skeleton of something that seemed like it was once humanoid.
Oh.
But to the right, you hear a scratching on a metal lid of a jar. And you look over, or Alfie kind of indicates to you, and if you peek your head in there, there is a small amethyst-colored crystal glass jar, which seems to clearly contain a small creature held within, scratching at the metal jar lid.
I will bonus action turn on my flail, but put it like on the opposite side of the room so it's not super blinding. How big is this jar?
It's like a mason jar. It's very small. There's a small, tiny creature held inside, and as you dim your light, it was kind of obtruding. That's not occluding your vision because your light was reflecting off this amethyst crystal and making it very purple in nature. And as you put it out, you can more clearly see what's inside. It looks like a small creature with skin and scales of like a green fluorite, amethyst, and carnelian coloration. And it immediately reminds you of like draconic imagery from folk tales and storybooks, but it stretches out wings of a butterfly, translucent and pearlescent.
Oh, it's so fucking cool.
I wish I could have recorded the noise.
And as you near it, as you kind of lean towards to get a better eye on it, it kind of recoils and immediately goes invisible.
Goes invisible?
It just within its jar, it just fades from view.
I'm losing my mind.
Roulette, do you mind if I give it a shot.
Uh,
We should close the
just-
door. We don't.
yeah, just a sec. Close it. Yeah, close the door. And I will put down my shield, and I will put down my flail, and I will. I'm gonna like pick up the jar. I'm not gonna open it yet. I'm just gonna put it on like a other table, like a more present table in the middle of the room. And I will say, this is stupid, but who cares? That was a neat little trick in there. And I will take out a pair of patches from my pocket, slap one on my front and one on my back, and cast invisibility on myself.
As you go invisible, still holding the jar aloft, you see it slowly fade back into visibility, almost curiously, like the front of its face starts to peel and become visible. And just kind of looks for you as it slowly takes on coloration once more, looking for,
I can't do it on and off. Yeah. I will place the jar down, and still invisible, I will slowly undo the top of it.
As you slowly undo the top of it and release it. It's butterfly wings lift it gently out of its. I'm going to put it back up because it's the cutest thing ever.
Oh, I haven't taken it down.
I haven't taken it down.
It still flaps its wings and just kind of eyes you curiously, kind of goes towards you. And it sneezes. I would like you to please roll a d6 and then a d4. When this sneeze of this magical fey creature hits you, you feel like the air in your lungs just got cleaner. You feel like no pain from, you are still mechanically damaged if there's any damage left over, but your mind kind of rights itself. You feel rather constitutionally enhanced. Your constitution has just gone up by +2 for 4 days.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
I'll hold out my arm, and as I'm holding out my arm underneath where it's flapping, I will drop invisibility.
As soon as you become visible again, it recoils for a moment. I would like you to make a animal handling check.
Oh.
I'm gonna say because of the nature of kind of playing with it, I'll give you advantage on this.
And yeah, it's an ability check. I am going to run through my mind palace for any sort of like bird handling knowledge I have from Storm's Edge to give myself a +4.
Perfect. Your flash of genius triggers.
19.
19 total. It kind of, after it recoils for a moment, slowly approaches and perches on your arm like a small hawk might.
I think we might have a new friend for a bit, Toby.
And it lingers there.
Introduce them.
I'm gonna slowly finally peek out from behind Roulette and just.
It kind of retreats, kind of rests further into Roulette's arm, almost regarding Roulette as a source of safety for a brief moment.
No. He's friendly. Don't. We're all friendly here. Can you communicate at all? Toby, you don't speak dragon, butterfly, fey, do you?
I can understand it if it happens to speak right now.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this thing except let it go free. I guess let's just bring it outside and see if any of the other guys or if Kinsala knows what to do with it.
I'll leave first and open the door and leave it open.
All right, Jiri. Actually, I want to get to a Toby thing there in a second, but as you're leaving, we'll pause Toby right there. But Jiri, go ahead and give me a perception check for this room now. Um, 10 is enough to get something, so that's good. As you walk out of this room, there's bits and bobbles of like alchemical use here. There's like no like clearly definable potion vials and stuff, but like leaves of saffron and lavender petals and stranger flowers too. But you see a pot right as you walk in. Go ahead and roll a d4 for me.
Ooh.
This pot has a single sprouting stem writhing up through the dirt within, and the two leaves along the shaft of the stem are familiar. And at first you can't quite place from where. And then you recall that when you first met your friends, the day you met your friends, you guys encountered a dryad. When it stepped through a tree, a leaf sprouted from that place. And you have just discovered 2 dryad leaves in a potted plant.
I will pick up the pot and I will leave the room and I will call to Talpyrion and I'll be like, Talpyrion, there's a bunch of like leaves and like other stuff that you're interested in there.
Oh, leaves. I yell from across the way.
But don't even bother looking in this room. There's totally nothing in there.
Oh, I was just gonna scan them all real quick.
No, don't even bother with this one. There's literally nothing in there.
Jerry, I've never trusted you less.
I'm telling you, there's literally nothing. I looked.
I'll be right there to look at the leaves in a second.
Okay. So, well, I still think we'll get to Toby Ram in a second. Talpyrion, go ahead and tell me what you're doing in this time, and then we will resolve that.
I'm using all of my force of will to pretend I don't know there's a fairy dragon in the other room, which is making me, I might have a stroke. I'm going to check out this room that no one has checked out.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check while you're there.
17.
17. It's pretty good. You notice some arcane bits and baubles in this room. Not alchemical, not natural, in sense of there was like seemed to be like an alchemical room, a room for like being storage, like creature storage, and then whatever Jiri found in that other room or didn't find. But these are where some arcane components are kept. Of note,
should get roulette in here.
There is, first of all, on a table, kind of the grand spot right up front, there's like various scraps of parchment that Raga may have put to use at some point, but they're not functionally spell scrolls or anything. But set on top of them are 2 long, beautiful shards. They're very close to each other, and they both shine with beautiful coloration. The one on the left seems luminescent in its own right, as swirling colors of like the twilight sky of the Feywild seem to swirl within it. The other seems to not be colored in its own right, but rather it's just internally refracting the colors of what's next to it, which seems to be, now that you kind of identify it, just a beautiful long shard-shaped diamond. It's a large diamond. But the other seems to be some shard of Feywild essence in some way.
Snag both of those.
Additionally, you see leaning up in the corner of a room, an old quiver that seems to kind of have been left and abandoned because mossy vines have kind of grown over most of it. But it kind of catches your eye because the leather seems in rather good condition for something that you identified to be in such a state of disuse. You take that, and it seems to, like, the vines don't like pull away from it. They're like almost strangling the quiver. They are very tightly gripped onto that, but the leather is beautiful mahogany leather.
Beautiful.
And finally, as you turn to leave.
Best for last.
Closest to the door, where you had opened the door and just like seen what was out in front of you first, but as you turn around and leave, something catches your eye. It's a small metal vase, very simple in shape, but rather elegant looking because it's got some nice golden filigree and reflective platinum collar kind of around the brim of the narrow part of its neck. And it kind of gives off a sweet earthly aroma as you're about to pass it. And then you kind of give it a look, and there are druidic glyphs etched around the widest part of the diameter. And at first, the metal that makes up its entire form seems to be an unassuming dark iron metal. But as you're inspecting the runes carved into it, the abnormal, smooth, polished texture and surprising weight for its size reminds you of another metal just like it, in the form of a medallion around Tobirama's person.
Oh, fuck. I pick it up and I analyze it.
You're welcome to
Hyperion, I
pick
have
it
a
up.
dragon.
It is hefty. There is real heft to this vase. It's a vase about 10 inches high at its widest point, maybe 5 inches in diameter. This beautiful like relic. You're not sure what it is, but it is eerily similar to the metal that comprises Tobirama's medallion.
Let's go to see this.
Divinor.
Hyperion's gotta see this.
Yes.
And Tobirama, of note, when you left the room of creatures, there is a single dead, physical, golden and green small eagle that rests on the floor of that space. Coloration seems dull and sickly, but it is not unlike the coloration of the other children of Remnis.
I will gently cradle it and exit.
I'll take all that stuff I found and head back to the others because I want to show them before I keep looking.
Okay. You guys all convene after having searched various portions of this room. No threats seem to assault you in this space right now.
There's one more room I want to check, but y'all look at this. And I hold up the vase. The metal's like, is it celestial? Like your amulet, Toby?
No. It's the amulet is Divinor.
Oh, Divinor.
The diminished or false attempt at recreating Celestial.
Well, do you want to check it out?
I'll pull it out.
I mean, in a bit, my hands are kind of full. I made a new friend.
Do I recognize what it is?
You know immediately. You're like, what are you holding on your hand?
Is it called a fairy dragon in game? In lore?
It is, yeah. It's dragons of the Fae, fairy with a AE dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say
Legendary creatures.
it's like greeting small one in Sylvan to it.
It responds to the Sylvan, but this is a baby. You think it's too young to speak back. Although, in theory, they could understand and speak Sylvan, but it reacts to what you say, but it is too young to speak back.
Oh.
Hyperion, you know what this thing is?
What do I know about this thing?
Yeah, fairy dragons are mischievous little spirit dragons that occupy the Feywild and only the Feywild. They have never been recorded in history in your culture or otherwise to breach the Feywild's veils. They can't travel to other places. You would never be able to bring this back home with you, but they are very loyal companions while in the Feywild if a successful attempt at interacting with them has been made. And exceedingly rare.
These are incredibly rare. The Fey dragons, essentially, they stay small. This one seems very young. They can understand Sylvan. They don't leave the Fae generally, if ever. They like tricks. And I wonder if this one's eaten anything. I'll take out some bread.
Yeah, one or both of us give it some sort of food.
Okay. I'll say.
I had a way I wanted to do it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I take out a little bread and I want to levitate it to its mouth, and then like playfully like pull it back if it tries to like bite at it, and then let it have it after teasing it for a sec.
I love that. Go ahead and make an animal handling check with advantage, because it does take that as kind of a challenge and a game to play.
That would be 12.
I love the tongue blep.
12.
12? It does not recoil from you. It trying to like eagerly grabs at the food and finally successfully does so.
Does it look like it was like starving? Like, is that how desperately it goes for it?
It is pretty eager going for it, but it doesn't look emaciated.
Okay. Do we want to check out I don't even know. I'll give it a little more bread, and I want to hand this base to Roulette to check out.
Toby-Rama, as it's handed to Roulette, you do also have an eerie feeling of that is extremely similar to the metal the medallion is made from. But Roulette is welcome to hold it. And you guys are kind of looking around for Kinsalo and don't see him for a moment. And then you just, out of the corner, you hear the flapping of his wings as this entire space is kind of being illuminated now by Kinsalo floating above you all with the spirits of Remnus just kind of floating around him like an aura. And he's just like looking around in amazement, like a little kid playing with like birds around him or something. He is just in awe. How about you guys? Anything of interest down there?
Witch's house is seldom barren of interesting items. But I was going to watch that for a minute. It's probably really cool.
Guys, check out what I found.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a pot with a plant, and I found a house plant.
Those are dryad leaves.
I bet you the pot is made out of something special, like a rare magical ceramic of some sort.
Just as likely.
The dirt is also super special. Come look.
All right, just hand it over. Let me check it out.
Can I hand it over?
Yeah. These leaves are magical.
Yeah.
Most valuable thing we found.
Dryad leaves.
What would you say, Jerry?
I said, this is for sure the most valuable thing that we found here.
Oh.
You can have it, Telperion.
Okay. Well, I've studied these before, right?
You've studied them, and you had never seen one before meeting all of your friends here and running into a dryad. Like, dryads are very seldom interacted with, even amongst the Emerald Forest. Like, there have been stories in your culture of people have seen them, but they are not frequent trespassers.
From the one that I studied, I think I learned a little bit about that one. And I think I learned that they can do okay in a bag of holding.
Correct. You do think so. That is the case.
We'll get this out later, but let's put it in the bag for now.
Okay, and just remember, don't go in that other room. There's nothing in there.
Oh, I was going to head over there right now, actually.
Okay, well, as you start to walk over to that place, you guys see a brightening of the space as all around Kinsalo, the spirits are converging now that you notice it. They've been acting as if one large torrent of energy, but they are morphing into a form of a translucent gold and green spectral eagle, huge in size. And as it circles Kinsalo, you see 7 little flares erupt from it, like, and little bits of magic kind of drift down to where Kinsalo is and crystallize into matter as 7 physical feathers land in the palms of Kinsalo. Then the spectral eagle continues to fly around the vicinity, passing past each of you. As it rushes past you, you guys feel a sensation of rejuvenation and inspiration. granting you the immediate benefits of a long rest, as well as a single D12 bardic inspiration that will not fade until it is consumed. There's no time limit on it. And as the eagle spirals around you and then upward into the vicinity, it ascends into the canopy, and the boughs of the Gilded Glades trees peel back and make way for the spirit. And the comforting colors of the permanently twilight sky above in the Plain of Fairy becomes once more as the skylight is able to filter down far enough to below. And the spirit climbs higher past the canopy, and like breeze in a wind almost just gets swept away off in the direction of the ever setting sun of the Feywild. I think we did well, guys, Kinsale says. Kinsale kind of flaps his wings and rejoins you. He says, I don't even care if that counts as my Etnamara. I think we did good. Hey, what have you got there? And he kind of lands right next to where Roulette is.
Found a new friend, I think. He was stuck in a jar, probably being kept as a pet or something.
It's beautiful. Prettier than that thing. Hey, that's druidic. Kind of pointing to your vase.
Oh. Wait, the other vase?
The metal vase that you're carrying, that you were handed by Telperion. He immediately kind of recognizes the text of druidic.
What does it say?
Do you mind?
Hand it.
Oh, huh. Feels like it shouldn't weigh this much. It says, you gotta understand, Druidic's kind of a weird language. It doesn't read usually like regular language. It says,
Seriously.
again to rest shall thee be bound, till word of nature's wardens break. To the preserver's oath shall thee rewake, with wilds ripe to tend. And as soon as he completes the recital of those words, you notice that the druidic runes take on a dull green coloration and pulse before fading moments later. Then they pulse again, surging with brighter color than before. Then again, and again, repeatedly, with increasing cadence.
Oh, Jesus.
Gonzalo, maybe put that thing down.
I can't let it go.
Oh,
The runes begin to pulse so quickly all of a sudden that they create this violent sonic resonance within the Divinor metal. As the object begins to emit a high frequency tone, a detonation of energy erupts from the mouth of the vase and engulfs all of your vision in blinding white light.
Oh my God.
And that's where we're going to end today's session.
you piece of shit.
We pasted in the chat